EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome in, everybody, to a Football Friday edition of Birds 365 here on JAKIB Sports. I'm your host, Zander Krause. That's my co-host, John McMullen, the number one Eagles beat reporter in town. Johnny Mac, how you feeling on this Football Friday? 2 days out from the NFC title game, brother.
I can't get here soon enough. We'll finally get some clarity on some of these injuries, or at least where they're trending, and we can finally get to a football game. Seems like the Super Bowl's the worst, obviously, if you're going there with the extra week, but
right.
Starts to get paralysis by over-analysis. Eagles are the better team. If they bring their A game, they should win the football game. I've said from the start, I honestly believe they could win this football game if Kenny Pickett had to play. I think it's pretty. If I look at the 3 championship games, this will be the 3rd one in 8 years. They're the worst team the Eagles have played, and they won the other 2 by a combined 69-14. I'm not wavering. This is a better football team, and this is the game they should win, as long as they don't beat themselves.
Paralysis by over-analysis. I like that, Johnny Mac. But definitely a little bit of that when I sit here and talk about this game all day long, all week. This is the 1 week, John. That thing is going slower this week than ever for me. So I'm ready for this freaking game on Sunday. Eagles Commanders. John, we did a practice report last night. All right, and I don't know if everybody caught that, but for the people who did, they got a great update on the fly. Let's go back into that, though, because that's what everybody here on Birds 365 is also going to be waiting for, and that's the injury report from practice yesterday, John. Cam Jurgens missed practice again, and Dallas Goedert missed practice again. That's 2 straight days for those guys. Obviously, this team does a lot of rest during the week. What can you tell us about Cam Jurgens and Dallas Goedert, and then we'll get into Jalen Hurts and Quinyon Mitchell as well.
Well, I think it's pretty clear they're managing Dallas to the game. I'm pretty confident he's going to play. Cam, not as confident, probably more 50-50. And the only reason I'm 50-50 is because some of the players said they expected him to play. But,
right.
You see a lot of clips of Landon Dickerson saying that. But then that's the problem with clips. And then you don't hear the context. And a minute later he says, but I'm not a medical guy. Ask Nick, ask the trainers.
Right.
Nobody puts that clip up there. So I wouldn't take Dr. Dickerson's belief that Cam Jurgens is going to play as something other than what it is, and that he hopes his line mates and friend can get out there. But, from my perspective, if you're 100% confident Cam Jurgens is going to be out there, why are you wasting Landon Dickerson reps in center at practice? I don't know. There's something fishy about that. I think Nick said it's too early to tell, and maybe it is. Maybe they're telling the truth for once, and it's too early to tell. And maybe he'll be able to get out there, but I think there's a chance he won't be able to get out there. Number of reasons. I mentioned Cam Irving, veteran offensive lineman, 32-year-old guy. That's not the kind of guy you bring in this time of year, unless
right.
you need an insurance policy of a guy in a worst case situation can go out there and play. So, there's a lot of red flags when it comes to Cam Jurgens. Dallas, I don't think there's any doubt he's going to play. It's just a matter of how healthy is he. Same thing with Jalen Hurts, who's full participant yesterday. Same thing with Quinyon Mitchell, who's was a full participant yesterday.
Good stuff there. So we will see about how that plays out. Boy, I tell you what, John, Cam Jurgens misses that game. How big of a wrinkle does that throw? And you said it last night on our practice report in the evening. Yeah, Landon Dickerson's pretty damn good, so I don't know if you worry about that. But is there an element to, the protections and some of the other things the center does on the field outside of the physical nature of what they do that could have an impact here? I mean, if he moves to center and you put Steen in at left guard, I feel pretty good about that group still physically. and what they're going to be able to do. Does anything change with the way they communicate? Obviously it does, but how big of an impact could that have on the game?
Yeah, I don't think it'll change much from the standpoint of, and I don't want to dismiss a Pro Bowl center, and that's what Cam Jurgens is. But Landon is so good as a center. For those who don't know, he was a center in Alabama, All-American center.
Yep.
Would have been a first-round pick if he didn't tear his ACL as a center. It is very smart, very cerebral. So he can. I don't worry about him a little bit when it comes to calling out protections. Lane Johnson was joking. He even enjoys it. He likes being an orchestra leader. He said he's got the big, movements with his hands. He's getting everybody in. I don't worry about Landon Dickerson one bit. Changes a little bit from a style standpoint,
right?
The big, as Lane called him, the strongest guy in the county. He's just a big physical guy versus Cam, who's more of the Jason Kelce type athleticism. But I do worry about left guard, because you have an second team All-Pro left guard who's not going to be there, and you're moving in Tyler Steen, who, has played quite a bit, and he hadn't played well. So I see a lot of people, for whatever reason, that's a big drop-off. So that would be my concern. Not center. My concern would be left guard.
So we'll see how that plays out there at left guard. And well, it is worth noting, John, with that change on the interior, potentially, we'll see. We don't know yet exactly what Cam Jurgens' status will be, but Washington's got a good interior of that D-line, John. They got good players in there, man. Jonathan Allen's playing back. He's back to playing good. Already has 8 pressures in 2 playoff games. They have Deron Payne, who's nursing an injury, but I would expect him to play this weekend. They got some good interior D linemen in there, John.
Yeah, but, the Eagles, again, there's a little I spoiled aspect to it. I mean, most people can't roll out 5 really top-tier offensive linemen.
Sure.
And most teams are dealing with look at Washington. They lost their best offensive lineman, Sam Cosmi, to a torn ACL, not playing. They got to deal with Jalen Carter without him. And Sam Cosmi, if you put him in Philadelphia's locker, was probably their 6th. He'd probably starting today. He'd probably be starting Sunday as a replacement at left guard. So, you got to persevere through these things. And the Eagles have done it earlier in the season. You think about that Cincinnati game where Fred Johnson had to start and Tyler Steen had to start. And they won they went out and won in Cincinnati. So they've proven they can do it.
Good stuff. Josh B asked, how did Steen play this year when playing? It was passable, right? We all remember him stepping in, but
yeah, it wasn't great. I would say I know he got terrible grades from PFF, but I don't think he was terrible, but it wasn't great. A lot of moving around, mostly played at right guard for Becton. But no, it wasn't great. I would say Fred held up better. Fred was a little bit more serviceable if you're looking at the backup offensive lineman. Yeah, and he was particularly bad in pass protection. So I think that would be the issue.
Good stuff, everybody. Good stuff, Johnny Mack. I want to welcome and thank everybody for being here this morning. We're going to get into this game. We're going to have a great guest in hour number 2 in Les Bowen. All right, so Les Bowen will join us here in hour number 2. Looking forward to talking to Les when he joins in hour number 2. And I'll take some chats later on in the show. I do want to welcome and thank everybody for being here. Jimmy, good morning, man. How are you? James Jones is in here. Brandon Howard. Crowley's in here. Ish is in here. Josh B. What's going on, everybody? I appreciate all you guys. Macalia, what's up? I appreciate everybody in here. Don't forget to hit that like button for us if you're enjoying the content and have been enjoying Birds 365 all week and all year long. If you're one of those viewers, we appreciate you. And if you're watching after, we appreciate you for checking in. Don't forget to leave your comment down below, and I will try and read that and respond to you on the JAKIB channel. So we appreciate that. And if you're listening to the podcast, don't forget to go and leave us a review. That's the best thing to do for a podcast listener to do to help us. So we appreciate that. Johnny Mack, let's get into Jalen Hurts. We talked a little bit about him last night. You said it was tough to tell because he was wearing big baggy sweatpants. So couldn't quite tell what you saw on the knee. But what do you know about Jalen Hurts and where we are? I feel like we're in a good spot. He was a full participant yesterday, and we kind of talked about we thought he'd be limited. So I thought that was optimistic. But your thoughts on Jalen Hurts and what do you know about where he is in his injury?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it was purposeful that he was wearing those sort of baggy sweatpants. But if you watch practice, a lot of guys are wearing them. So, but I think it might have been a whole concerted effort to sort of hide what's going on with the knee a little bit. Obviously, he's going to wear something. Hopefully, it's only a compression sleeve. What we're trying to figure out, is it going to be one of those braces with the metal sort of supports, and that would indicate, a lack of, certainly lesser mobility than ever. But honestly, when I was there, and again, you're looking, I see him throwing the football for a little bit, and then a couple sort of drills where he's taking snaps from center, rolling out a little bit. And John Clark, our buddy John Clark from NBC Sports Philadelphia, caught one of those on video. And I'm like, I looked at it and I said, all right, first of all, it's practice, you're not going to 1,000,000%. And I'm like, that's fine. That's fine. But then I get home and and I'm like, Dr. Chow says, no question he's favoring his left knee, 100%. And Chase Daniels out there saying, oh, that's not good. Guy who played the position. I know Eagles fans don't like him. Ironically, he's a former Eagle, but
right.
I don't think he's shitting on Jalen Hurts. He's just saying it's not right. And these are guys that obviously would know. So I know Dr. Chow said that they have this he works for something called Sports Injury Central. So these 100% doesn't exist. These numbers are all made up, even by doctors. These numbers are all made up. I mean, you do have some tests and they can gauge do the data where you start and where you're actually at 82% of whatever. And that's what he put him at, 82%. So take it for what you will.
82%. And then the last one I want to get the update on, John, is Quinyon Mitchell. I feel pretty good about him and where he is this week. But just give me the update real quick for the benefit of Birds 365 viewers.
Yeah, Quinyon was a full participant. And, the thing with it's more interesting to me what happened last week with Quinyon, because it was so weird. They remove him from the game. He gets X-rays, doesn't come back, and he's in the locker room and he seems fine. So I don't know what happened, but he was a full participant. So I don't, of all four players we talked about, I have the least concern over Quinyon Mitchell, and that's Cam Jurgens, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts. He's definitely going to play. I guess if you get hit on the button, so to speak, in the same part of the shoulder, maybe that could be an issue, but he's certainly going to play. And I haven't seen any evidence that he's concerned about, making it through the game.
Good stuff there, Johnny Mac. We're going to dive into some more topics around this football game. Obviously, one that came out yesterday. I didn't make much of it, but it sends everybody into a tizzy. It didn't bother me at all what the Commanders' defensive coordinator said, Joe Witt. He said, if Jalen Hurts is going to run, we're going to hit him like a running back. And I'm like, sounds about right to me, right, John? That's football.
And Nick kind of played. Nick got asked that. It's like, boy, there's some things that I'm just, and I talk about the over legislated nature of the NFL all the time. Like, I think nobody understands the rules. When you're a running back, you're a running back. When you're a runner, you have protection in the pocket.
Right.
The problem becomes, and this is why I always lean towards defenders. Okay. It doesn't matter if they're on the Eagles or somewhere else. The problem is when they throw the flag when quarterbacks are runners. That's the problem. If they're runners, now Sliding is something completely different because they're giving themselves up, and that's the rule. And then it's a bang, bang, 50-50, and you can make an argument either way. And it generally depends on who your favorite team is. But running backs can do that as well. Wide receivers can do that as well. Sometimes you even see it where the wide receiver sees he can't get any more yards and he gets down. And the play's supposed to be over. But I don't think a lot of people understand. If you are running the football, you have no extra protection as a quarterback. I'm not saying, and then people bring up Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying they don't give deference to superstar players, because they do. And that ain't right. And I'm with people with that. But when you do not have extra protection as a quarterback, as a runner. I don't think most people understand that by the rules. You do not. So nothing, you can get upset at you. I don't know why, but that's what you're supposed to do. And that's part of the reason why you have this give and take of how much do you want the quarterback to run the football? Because if they're running the football, it's supposed to be fair game. So, no, there is nothing wrong with what he said. And Nick Sirianni, by the way, agreed with that. And the same thing with Jaden Daniels, who can run the football.
Right, that's what I was about to say.
The Eagles are treating him like a running back.
Wouldn't you want to crack Jaden Daniels if he tries to run on you?
They should, and they will. As Zach Ball did on the 4th down here in the first game. Leveled them. It's exactly what you should do.
Right. All right, now let me give you another spin on this, all right? And I agree with everything we just said, by the way, you just said. Despite all that being true, and we all know it is true, obviously that's what they're going to try and do to Jalen Hurts. Is it savvy to put that out there in the media? What do they gain from putting that out there in the media? Just as another perspective,
here's the difference. He got asked the question. It's not like he's sitting up there pontificating. If you're asking me what would I would have done, I would have done what I just done and said, well, he doesn't have any extra protection. So yeah, we're going to treat him like a running back. And explain the rules to these morons who don't know the rules. No offense.
Exactly.
I'm talking more of the media people.
Yeah, I got you.
That's how I would have handled it. But defensive coordinators are generally tough guys and blah, blah, blah. Vic didn't answer that question. Didn't get asked that question. Would have answered the same way, maybe a little bit better. So you can talk about how did he handle it? Should he? I just gave you my advice I would have given to him. If I'm the PR guy in Washington, I would have said, look, just say, well, he has no extra protection. So, yeah, we're going to treat him like a running back if he runs the football. Bang. I think that, but, that's, and some savvy media people are looking for that clip.
Right.
And
that's where I wonder if, what's the advantage as a defensive coordinator to put that out there? I'm not saying he's wrong, obviously, but why put it out there and then you have Eagles media who blows it all up?
I mean, you can argue that he should have handled it better. If you care. My estimation is he doesn't care. I don't know him, but that's my guess.
I know we don't love refs, but does that kind of stuff? I don't know. You get this in the media. And people, how people make headlines, John. Oh, they want to take out Jalen Hurts. Not what he said, but that's what people make a headline.
Oh, yeah.
And then you share that for 4 straight days leading up. And then the refs are like, hey, well, they're coming for Jalen Hurts. Boom, let me float.
Well, if the refs do that, they suck. As people assume they suck anyway. I mean, the refs know the rules. And they should call the game. And it's a difficult game to call because of the over legislation. But yeah, it's not like every referee doesn't, and every official out there doesn't know these rules. They all know these rules. They all know quarterbacks don't have extra protections. I don't think they're going to be unduly influenced by anything like that. Here's the problem with officials, and you saw it last week with Devontae. What draws flags are big hits or woo hits, as I like to call them. Like they got to get better with that stuff. Like I'm sorry, and I upset Eagles fans. It's a completely legal hit on DeVonta Smith last week. Completely legal hit, but it was a big hit in the middle of the field. You know, what are you supposed to do as a defender? You can go to every game and people get upset. And when it's an Eagles defender, I say, nah, that probably shouldn't have been a flag. When it's somebody
Well, no,
else,
that
now
Devonta hit, it did look like the guy hit his helmet. Where I agree with you is I don't know what he could have done differently.
incidental. He dipped his head because he's a human being
Yeah, it was.
trying to
Oh,
catch
I
a
believe it
football.
was definitely.
He led with his shoulder. That was literally textbook of what they want them to do. What they want them to do. Now, if you're leaving your feet, here's another thing. People don't. There is no targeting rule in the NFL. That's a college rule. But it's just unnecessary roughness. So it's
that was unfortunate with where Devontae was in the air and the way he came down into that. Yeah.
So he's dipping his head because he's bracing for the hit. So it's incidental contact. But you know, that's where they should have the full-time sky judge and just say, look, you know, pick up the flag, blah, blah, blah. Incidental, all that kind of stuff. But they don't. And they leave these things open. But when it's a big hit, and if you go back to New Orleans, remember that hit on Devontae when he was trying to get extra yard? Even Devontae said, no, that was a legal hit. The problem is the guy who came in afterwards. Even Devontae said that was.
Is that when Devontae's helmet got knocked off?
I don't remember if his helmet got knocked
off.
But
remember they were tackling him. They were almost dragging him backwards.
And they were dragging him backwards. And the officiating
got popped off.
And the officiating point there is they should have blown the whistle way before, when they didn't. So that was the big mistake from their perspective. But then somebody dived in, and I forget who it was after. Now he should have got flagged, and I think ultimately he did. If I recall, he certainly got fined. But yeah, even Devontae said that was an illegal hit. So, you know, it is what it is, but that's a long-winded saying. Most people don't understand the rules. So I don't know. And that's the NFL's fault because their rules are ridiculous. Ridiculous. I mean, it's like the tax code.
Right. Get a good accountant. That's all I'll say about the freaking tax code. All right, Johnny, man, I want to show all the people who are watching. So the AP award finalists that came out yesterday, well, the Philadelphia Eagles have quite a few of them. All right, let me show you guys who they are. All right, there's your look at it. All right, Saquon Barkley is your a finalist for the MVP and the Offensive Player of the Year. Zach Bowen is a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. Quinyon and Cooper are both finalists for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And Vic Fangio is a finalist for Assistant Coach of the Year. Now, John, there is one thing about this entire graphic that all of these people share, okay? Can you tell me what that is?
Yeah, they all are first-year Eagles.
There you go, baby. I mean, that's a hell of a – right there, that's all Howie Roseman needs to show to potentially have a shot at Executive of the Year. Those are all first-year players or coaches here in the city of brotherly love. What a great impact by the offseason additions this year, John, from Howie. I got to tip the cap here, man. That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of impressive, obviously, to go where they're on the precipice of going. It's always that it's not going to win it. You know, Brad Holmes won it in the PFWA. I expect Brad to win it. And, you know, but he had a good offseason. And then there's stuff that obviously you'd want back. That's everything. I mean, people forget, you know, until the season is over and if it ends in a negative direction. But if you win, yeah, obviously there's a lot of good. There's a lot of good. There's also the Bryce ups and the, you know, I imagine, excuse me. I imagine Kellen Moore will be back in the good graces if the Cowboys hire Brian Schottenheimer. But really, that hasn't worked out as planned.
What do you think of that Schottenheimer?
Yeah, good luck. That's what I would say.
We'll see.
I don't know.
I try not to write people off before they
No,
have a
I
chance to prove themselves. But
same
yeah,
age. Now,
it's an
Liam Cohen, if you look at Jacksonville, look, it's more about you look at the situation and you look at how that unfurled and you say, that's just a bad organization. So I'm trying to, I don't know the guy from Adam, but, making him like he's out like some kind of superstar, turnaround. There's just a bad organization. And I love Tony Khan, but I mean, they're just a bad organization. So, the way that unfurled was it just looks unprofessional, but from both sides.
Yeah,
He's going back. He tells Tampa he's going back, and then he Josh McDaniels them. It's like, what are you doing, dude?
Dude, with a $4.5 million contract on the table, just communicate. Just freaking communicate. I didn't understand.
Yeah, then he kind of ghost them.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Like that's like what young people that don't like confrontation do.
Right.
Not that anybody should like confrontation, but sometimes
confrontation is necessary in life.
It's certainly in business. It certainly is necessary in life. And that's just unprofessional.
No doubt about it. Good stuff,
yeah,
Johnny Mac. All right, John, we're gonna
to your point, especially when they're agreed to pay him $4.5 million.
Yeah,
and being the top paid, along with Vic Fangio, the top paid coordinator in football.
You got to give him the courtesy of a phone call. I mean, forget confrontation. How about the courtesy of
a
freaking phone call?
He's like a teen. Like a teen girl.
Wait, so when there was something else that came out though last night. Now I don't think it's going to develop this way. I think it does seem like Cohen's going to end up being their coach there. But it came out last night that Salah was flying in again for another interview, and I'm like, oh my god, they didn't just pull a Liam Cohen on Liam Cohen, did they? And they were going to.
Yeah, I think he was the backup plan. I think Robert Salah.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you this, and I don't think Robert Salah did a good job with the Jets. But again, bad organization. You never know how much of it is.
I kind of like Robert Salah. I don't know why I like him, but I do like him.
I know Eagles fans didn't like him when he was in the press box the other week, but they spotted him and said some untoward things. But
why do they have a problem with Robert Salah, Eagles fans?
I have no idea because they spotted him.
Did he do something? Did I miss something? What happened to Robert Salah? I thought he was a good coach. I like him.
Yeah, he was a consultant.
I guess he was the defensive coordinator in San Francisco.
Well, no, he was I'm talking about Green Bay.
Yeah, this year that happened. That happened like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. He's a consultant. He was a consultant for Green Bay, and he was sitting in the press box, and they spotted him after the Eagles had essentially secured the game. Very, just a couple fans. It's not everybody.
Yeah,
and they start.
He says we don't hate him. He was just there, and he isn't on our team. Yeah, so fuck him.
Yeah, exactly. It was one of those deals. So it was bald MF or sort of like a Larry David type thing. To the point, some of the Green Bay writers were screaming at the fans to shut it. It was kind of amusing, but perfect indication of why people don't like coming to Philadelphia.
Good stuff there. Yeah, no doubt about it. Good stuff. All right, Johnny Mac, here we go. I'm going to read a couple super chats I'll get to in just a second. We're going to get our commercial break here in a little bit. We're going to talk to Les Bowen in hour number 2. So looking forward to talking to Les Bowen in hour number 2 when he joins us on the show. I do want to ask, though, John, just a couple days out now here from this game, what sticks out to you as some key factors? You kind of gave a good synopsis of it at the open of the show today, where what'd you say, paralysis by over-analysis. You don't want to get into that territory, but just the simple keys to the game that stick out to you in this game 3 days out.
Well, a lot of it, is going to depend on how healthy Jalen Hurts is. So I've talked about that from the start. I mean, that's something we won't know, to be honest, until game day. How much is on the plate for him. And I think from Washington's standpoint, it becomes the job of Bobby Wagner, who, is going to play, and Frankie Luvu to assess that pretty quickly. Is the +1 aspect of the running game involved? Is it not involved? If it's not involved, then I think they completely sell out to stop Saquon Barkley like they did in the second half of the game down there.
Right.
And they were pretty effective doing it. So I think that's the plan for Washington. And then, can the passing game get going? We've been having that discussion all season.
Yeah.
For the Washington offense, it's going to be interesting how they deal with the absence of Sam Cosme, because and that's part of the thing. Even with Sam Cosme, you expect Jalen Carter to have a big game against this team. And now it's probably going to be Trent Scott, who isn't really a guard, tackle playing guard. Yeah, that does not look like a good matchup. So you're going to have to slide.
This is not like the way. This is not like moving Jordan Mailata over to playing
No,
guard.
no.
This is a guy who doesn't play a lot of tackle. He's a reserve tackle kind of guy, and now he's playing guard. So that's not going to be good for him going up against Jalen Carter. Let's call a spade on that.
Yeah, and then it becomes on Cliff Kingsbury, and how are you going to deal with that? I imagine they're going to move the pocket. They have a quarterback where they could certainly move the pocket, try to take advantage. You think about over the years how the Eagles have taken advantage at times of great pass rushers. Von Miller, most notably, Micah Parsons at times. Sometimes you can use their aggression against them, and sort of trap them to going up the field and running right behind it, or doing something behind it. So, I mean, that's up to Cliff Kingsbury, but he's certainly got the quarterback to do it. He can move wherever he wants to move.
Yep.
So we'll see how they handle it, but I do think their whole week basically is figuring out how the hell are we going to block Jalen Carter.
Yeah, I think probably the better game plan for them is just tell Jaden to roll out. I mean, how many times are we going to see Jaden roll out in this game? I think it's going to be a lot, because Jalen Carter is going to be wreaking havoc on that interior all game.
Yeah, well, Nick says it all the time with Micah. If you can't block him, read him. That's easier on the edge, obviously. But it's similar. If you can't block him, you got to do something else. And they know they can't block him. So how are they going to handle it? And you look at how some of the teams, including the Eagles, who have had the most success against Aaron Donald in his illustrious career. One of the things I always respect about Jason Kelce is that, like, very similar to Vic Fangio, he'll always tell you the truth. And he gets mad when, not mad, but, a lot of people like to say, well, the Eagles never gave up a sack to Aaron Donald and blah, blah, blah. And Kelce will tell the story. He's told it on his podcast. He's like, you don't know what we did to not give up a sack against Aaron Donald.
Right.
I mean, there was not one play on purpose that we didn't have an extra body or two directed toward him. So, that's pretty much, and I don't like to compare anybody to Aaron Donald, but that's pretty much what Washington is going through right now, trying to figure out how they're going to make sure that Jalen Carter doesn't wreck this game, because he could wreck this game.
Yeah, and that could mean that the other guys on that defensive line will have a lot of chances at some one-on-ones and can make a play too. Milton Williams, by the way, Nolan Smith, who's been really playing well in the playoffs. I was watching, John, they put out a mic'd up yesterday with Jalen. It was Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts doesn't talk much in the game, so there's not much mic'd up from Jalen, out there. You could tell he started talking a little bit more in the fourth quarter. The only thing that changed was he popped up perk or whatever it was he took for that knee, and he maybe loosened up a little bit.
There's a lot of Reddit Discord conspiracies about.
Yeah, I'm not going down that road. But anyway, I'll say this: there was one moment in the mic'd up segment that the Eagles put out that got me fired up for multiple reasons. The sack that Jalen Carter had on Matthew Stafford, where he picked him up. All right. Now, I don't know what they called on the defensive line, but when they got back to the bench, that was a third down sack. Jalen Carter looked at Nolan Smith and said, "Thank you for trusting me." And Nolan clapped back at him and said, "Don't ever say that shit. If you feel it, you call it, and I'm going to do it with you." It was really dope. But my point was, they're really feeding off one another right now. Now, obviously, they go back to Georgia. I don't know what they called in that moment. Maybe, Nolan comes this way so that Jalen can go around the back
basically
of the
just
or whatever. But
basically
they're playing right now really well, and I think they're complimenting each other really well. And Nolan's done a really good job.
Yeah, it's just a stunt, and they do have a history together, so maybe they're a little bit ahead of the game from the chemistry. We always talk about chemistry on the offensive line. Chemistry is a big thing with the pass rush. I go back to that Cam Jordan clip, which I hope you retweeted to people. A big thing with pass rush. Jim Schwartz would stress this all the time. Big stresses it all the time. You don't just wide nine it Jason Babbitt style.
Right.
It's got to be a group effort, especially against a quarterback like Jaden Daniels, because if you're by yourself on the edge, for instance, and you're just going, "I'm going to go get the quarterback," and you got same man coverage behind, and all of a sudden you're running past the quarterback because you're selfish looking for a sack. And you lose contain, all of a sudden he's running up the back of the defensive backs for 20, 30 yards. So, the fact that those guys have known each other, Jordan Davis as well, obviously, and N'Kobe when he's healthy, and means a lot. Means a lot. And they, the trust that they have in each other means a lot.
No doubt about it. I'm going to get to the super chats in just a second, John. One other question on this game, and we've talked about this before, but I do want to get into it here on the Football Friday because I do think it's one of the key pieces of the offensive game plan and play calling and everything coming in. How will the Eagles' play calling adapt if Jalen Hurts' mobility is reduced? And I'd put the site here on Kellen Moore that you want to obviously that has to change.
The play calling
Jalen can't run. I'm just saying, do you have to agree, though? You have to call a slightly different game if Jalen can't run well?
In theory. But, I do think the Eagles have a lot of confidence in their running game. And they're not afraid of extra people in the box. So I think they're going to try to run the ball, certainly with a limited quarterback. And then if that doesn't work, then it becomes, can you turn on the light switch? And you got to get the passing game on. But I think it starts with what they are as a team. I would always yell at Penn State fans. I tell that story all the time. Crapping on James Franklin for the game with Trace McSorley, and I think it was Miles Sanders. And it was a 4th and 4 or something, and they ran a zone read. And I see all these Penn State. Well, you gotta be more creative. You gotta be more creative. It's not who they are. It's not what they practice.
Right.
You don't just run zone read for 10, 13 weeks, whatever it was, and then show up with Bill Walsh playbook and say, "Oh, let's run this. Let's run these creative route concepts that everybody thinks they understand." It doesn't work that way. You practice what you're good at, and you do. And the Eagles have pretty much, we're at 19 games now. They are what they are. You're not going to see Bill Walsh.
John is just pouring water on my.
Well, I'm not picking on you. I mean, what?
No,
what
I know. I'm
expect?
Just saying in general. I'm dreaming. I'm like, all right, Jalen. All right, banged up knee. It's all going to be all right. 2-step drop. Get that ball out quick. Big game for AJ. Big game for Devontae.
The closest thing was 2017, but a lot of people bring, because they completely revamped the offense. But the difference there, they did it over multiple weeks, number one. But the difference there was they scaled it back. They didn't evolve it. They scaled it back.
Right.
To take advantage of what Nick was comfortable with. You could scale it back further. You're not going to turn into Bill Walsh in 1 week where you barely practice, by the way, because the quarterback's not healthy.
Last question here before our first commercial break. Jaden Daniels is coming in, John. What are you doing to try and slow down this rookie who seems like he's been unfazed by every single moment of the year? And we lost Celia yesterday with the power, so we didn't have a Celia show. So I was on live, and I brought some people on, and we talked about the game a little bit. And somebody was floating out that they think, okay, the pressure is here now, and just because you haven't seen him burst doesn't mean he couldn't turn into Darnold. And I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see this kid bursting under pressure at all.
Poor Sam, number one. But go ahead.
Well, listen, he turned it, John. He didn't help himself with the pumpkin-esque performance of the last 2 weeks of the season. So I hear you, but shoot, Darnold did not help himself out at all. But what do you got here with Jaden Daniels, man? What are you doing as coming up against a rookie who's really a rookie sensation? The way he's playing, he's really a good quarterback. Yeah. What are you doing to try and come in and throw him off?
I think we're at the paralysis by overanalysis standpoint. Like, I don't think it's about Jaden Daniels. Like I said, if you look at all the quarterbacks in the divisional round, with the exception of Patrick Mahomes, and they're mainly veteran quarterbacks, the most calm, collected, poised was Jaden Daniels in a very difficult environment. So I'm not worried about his poise. I'm not worried about his bubble bursting. I'm not worried about him turning into a pumpkin. Doesn't mean he can't have a bad game. People will say he turned into a pumpkin. Doesn't mean he had a bad game. It probably means that Jalen Carter wrecked the game. That's what it probably means. From Tom Brady on down, the easiest way to affect a quarterback is pressure right up the middle.
Yep.
Right up the middle. From Tom Brady on down. So, if you go to Super Bowl, whatever it was, where the 9-7 Giants beat the undefeated Patriots, did Tom Brady turn into a pumpkin? Some people could say that. Some people will say that. I mean, sometimes you got to tip your cap to the other team and point out whether it's shitty offensive line play, great defensive line play, what have you. But he's already proven himself when it comes to the poise category.
Yes, no doubt.
I don't think he's going to show up very similar to what I said about the Eagles offense. In 1 week, I don't think he's going to lose his poised nature. Doesn't mean he can't have a bad game, but I don't think it's going to have anything to do with poise or turning into a pumpkin. I think it's going to do with the Eagles defense, and if they
what
can
do they have to do?
get
Pinch the edges and pinch the edges, try and keep them in the pocket and rely on Carter to get pressure.
You got to be very disciplined in the pass rush. You got to. I expect this to be a big zone game. For some reason, they went away from it. Not, they never go away from it, but they in the first game they played a ton of zone. In the second game, they played to the lesser level of what they usually do. And they create a lot of turnovers in that second game. So there's a give and take, but I expect them to play a ton of zone because they don't want them running up the back of the defensive backs. So like I said, they want everybody with their eyes on them. and then it becomes keep them in the pocket, very disciplined rush, and speeding them up. Make him throw before he wants to throw.
Yeah.
Agreed. Saw in the last play of the game, last real play of the game against the Rams. That never had a chance because Jalen Carter sped up Matthew Stafford. Never had a chance. And when you speed up a quarterback as a defense, good things generally happen, whether it's incompletions or even bigger plays like turnovers.
Good stuff there, John. Let's get to a couple super chats, then we'll get to our first commercial break. Man in Black checks in. What's up, brother? Good to see you in here. If the Bills DC said that about Mahomes in same words, refs would have 20 flags loaded in the
Go with the Mahomes. Jesus Christ. Get over Mahomes. Worry about Mahomes when you're playing Mahomes.
Oh, Man in Black. That's a very Man in Black comment right there. 20 flags loaded in the waistband is hilarious.
And I'm going to go under with 20 flags. How's that?
Gerard says, what's up, Gerard Horsey? Good to see you, man. Can Nolan Smith be Hassan or better? I think he can be. I think he has that type of upside for sure.
Come on.
Not right now. I'm saying in his career. I could see that for him.
Hassan of 2022? No. Hassan of
Hassan's Reddick career isn't based on 22.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's what Eagles fans are thinking. I mean, I could be wrong. Hassan Reddick overall,
but if he can be in that level of player category where you range, 12, 13, 14, whatever it is, sacks a year, that's what I think Nolan can be.
Yeah, I think he could do that. But again, I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think people are thinking of Hassan Reddick 2022, who is in that specific season one of the greatest defensive years an Eagles player has ever had. That I don't see.
Yeah, that's a historic season.
Yeah.
Brian Pumper checks in. What's up, Brian? Fellas, the Juergens injury came out of left field. Is this a Vegas thing, or does Roger Goodell have beef jerky in his Diddy dungeon? Known freak. Oh, God, Pumper. I will say this, though. The Juergens injury did come out of left field. We talked about that last night. He played the final snap of the game last week. I didn't see anything.
Hey, backs are backs, man. You can hurt yourself shoveling snow.
Yep.
You can hurt yourself picking up snow at the link and charging $50 for it.
Yeah, maybe Jergy got home from the game and had to shovel snow, John. Maybe that's where it happened.
I mean, I say how many times I say these guys are human beings. They have lives. They have to do things. Like Kellen Moore was telling the story about what his interviews and blah blah blah, and he missed his kid's 4th grade basketball game. They have lives. Anybody who's had a back injury knows, that stuff can crop up, and football players, a lot of times, I go back to Tim Jernigan. It's the weight room, and he was out for basically almost a year. When you're throwing around that kind of weight, offensive linemen throw around, it could be anything. But by no means am I trying to say that that's what's going on, that it's serious with Cam Juergens. I haven't gotten that sense. But as far as a 1-2 week injury, whatever, a lot of ways. And eventually, Cam's honest. He'll tell us what happened when we eventually get to talk to him. But he's injured, so he hasn't been in the locker room.
Good stuff. Bobby Murphy checks in. What's up, Bobby? One game away from a Super Bowl, like him or not. Any Eagles fan worth a F needs to ride or die with Hurts. Talking to YouTube Pumper, FJD. That's fair. I mean, that's where we're at right now in this season. I think that's fair.
Well, I'm not going to gauge what Eagles fans should do and shouldn't do, but I mean, he deserves credit, no doubt about it. I mean, guy wins games, does win games.
No doubt.
But the organization wins games.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Sirianni deserves credit. Jalen Hurts deserves. Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, on down.
Scott Squad says, if Jaden is poised, then what is Hurts?
Jalen's very poised.
Yeah, I think they're both poised.
Very poised.
Scott, I've been saying all week, dude, this kid reminds me of Jalen Hurts in a way. Not the same style of play, but the way he can escape from a pass rush, the way he's just calm under pressure. The only thing I think he's got an advantage in is I think he's got a little bit he's a little bit more talented in the arm. I mean, he can throw the ball, man, really freaking well. So
yeah, Nick got asked about those two, and that's what he said. He reminded him how poised Jalen is. That's the first place he went with it. Typically, when people talk about Jaden Daniels, they go to the athletic traits. Nick went straight to the poise.
Love it. Good stuff there. Scott, appreciate it. Macalia, what's up, brother? Good to have you in here. The Eagles seem to do better when they run hurry-up offense, so why don't they start out that way?
Yeah, good question. That's what I've been asking
Yeah.
for weeks.
The only quarterback who's better in up-tempo offense this year is who?
I don't know.
Jaden Daniels. Him and Jalen Hurts are two of the two.
They
that
do
are-
it a lot too, but
Yeah.
I think
Their rate of it is way higher, John. Somebody put out a graph last night where you could. Let me see if I can find that real quick. But go ahead.
I think all quarterbacks are better in tempo. I think Chip Kelly was on to something. Now the problem is, and Bill Belichick did this best with Tom Brady, of course. You know, Bill Belichick was a big fan of Chip Kelly and really liked his tempo approach and really liked a lot of things Chip did. He was at the, even though he doesn't get credit for it because he's a bit of a tool, he was at the ground floor of a lot of the changes in offensive football. But he didn't have a filter. Like, you know, he was just go, 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 no matter what. And Belichick would pick his brain and love to pick his brain about the tempo stuff, but he was smart enough to put the filter on it, and he had the ultimate filter in Tom Brady. So if you go back to those Patriot teams, post when he learned the tempo stuff from Chip, they were the best at putting the foot on the gas, taking it off, managing games at the end. They were the best at it. So much good comes from tempo. You don't allow, it's become a situational game. You don't allow substitution from the defense. So you can define, like if you have a group on the field that you like a matchup with, you can keep them on the field if you want as an offense by running tempo. Now you can't do it all the time, especially if you have veteran players. Offensive linemen are going to get tired. And that's where the filter comes into it. But around the league, I think with the good teams, you see they're very good when they use tempo. Almost everybody. And there's something to that. And it certainly includes the Eagles.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll show everybody this graph. I saw that. I don't know, John, I'll let you break it down. Maybe it doesn't mean as much as I thought. This is a graph of most efficient quarterbacks in no huddle. And you can see the left side is the no huddle rate. So Jaden Daniels is way at the top. They're running no huddle a lot. And then the bottom is EPA per dropback. So you can see Jalen Hurts is on there. He's got a pretty good spot on there. I just wish they ran it more. Jaden Daniels is a little bit less efficient, but they run it so damn much that they're getting, I think, more advantage out of it.
Yeah, the Eagles, it tends to do positive things for the Eagles, but you do have to, you can't just do it all the time. But, you know, I do think there's, and Kellen it'd say, hey, look, first thing, you got to get a first down to run temp. It's like, you know, it's great. You saw it with Chip.
Right.
If you're 3 and out in 15 seconds, you're really putting your defense. So there's a lot of things that go into it, but the Eagles have been very, very good with it this year.
Yeah, no doubt. McMullen, good question, man. I appreciate you. One of our new legend members. Thanks for being a member, man. I appreciate your support. Scott Squad checks in. Bond been good, but Dean has been just as good. Yeah, well, Dean's out. Now we got no Dean.
N'Kobe has been very good this year, but no, he has not been as good as Zach Bond. Zach Bond is, again, he's a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year.
I'm telling you, John, I listen to him.
A worthy finalist for defense.
It's funny listening to him. Like, he got asked about that, and he's like, "This was nowhere in the realm."
Yeah, he admitted.
My goals.
Well, he was talking about the Pro Bowl. He was like, he laughed at his contract. It had a Pro Bowl incentive in it, and he's like, "Why is this here?" You know, he laughed about it. Yeah, I mean, he's been an amazing story. Legitimate. He's not going to win it, so don't get yourself excited. But he's going to be he's going to be top 5. Well, here he is, top 5. He's one of the finalists. I voted for him. I'll tell you where after NFL honors, and there's no doubt he's been one of the 5 best defensive players in football. No doubt.
No doubt at all.
Kobe's had a great season. But he's not even one of the 5 best linebackers in football. Great season, probably top 15, I would say. Phenomenal season. But Zach Bond has been off the charts good.
Charles Menifee checks in. What's up, Charles? Who benefits more from limited possessions?
Of these two teams, I would think the Eagles. Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, but a lot of possessions means one of two things: a lot of scoring or a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, and look at how that played out last time that happened.
Yeah, to me, Washington's going to have to score a lot of points to win this game.
I agree. Charles, thank you, man. Appreciate that. One more super chat, then we'll get to our commercial break here. An hour deep. We'll have an hour left to play here, and we have Les Bowen coming up at 9:20. Looking forward to talking to him. Matt NG says, I think JD is great. Reminds me of Derrick Rose when he came into the NBA because of his size and play style. Do you question his durability? Jalen is a shit brick house and seems to always get hurt.
Yeah, fair point. I mean, seems like every year, too, it's late with Jalen Hurts, which is hurt in the playoffs. Tampa, the first year, he got hurt in Chicago when they made the run, so they were able to persevere that. Last year, again, it was a finger, I think, and an ankle. Every year, and this year it's the knee. And he is a brick shit house. So, yeah, Jaden, I mean, you look at him, I guess a little bit, but we went through this with Devontae Smith, who's like, and he's been so durable. Missed a little bit of time this year, but he's been so durable, and he looks like a toothpick out there. And you worry for his, when you see all these giant guys,
yeah,
you worry about it. I mean, Lamar Jackson, same way. You don't get hit, so I don't know. And Josh Allen's on the other end of the spectrum. He's so reckless. I can't believe that guy doesn't get hurt. He throws his body around like a lunatic. And he hasn't gotten hurt.
6'5".
Yeah, he's huge. So, but even I mean, those guys get hurt all the time. And Zach Ertz is coming in.
Josh Allen's a little bit of a different breed, though, and I think he's proven that with the way he hasn't gotten hurt.
And Zach Ertz is the first one who I heard it from, but a lot of people say it. But if you play long enough, you're going to get hurt, 100%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just the game. It's a violent game.
Good stuff, Matt. Thanks for the super chat, bro. I appreciate that. Appreciate everybody checking in today. Good to have everybody in the chat. Got a big crowd in here. Over 1,000 watching, 650 on YouTube, and almost 500 on all of our other platforms. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. Hit that like button if you're in the show. We should have a good amount of likes. It's a football Friday before an NFC title game. So hit that like button. We'll be right back here on Birds 365. Les Bowen is coming up in hour number 2. Before I get to the break, let me tell you guys about the great people at BetUS. Go check them out. Who's betting on the game this weekend? Last I checked, the spread on BetUS was 6. All right, that seems like a little bit of a big number for me. I don't know if I'm laying 6 in this game. We'll give you guys our score predictions at the end of the game. But if you're taking a bet, I'd go with Saquon Barkley, right? I mean, I don't know. I like Saquon Barkley to run all over this team again. His over-under is like 130, which is one of the highest ever for a running back. So pretty crazy what he's done. But go check him out. Use the promo code YouTube150, and you get 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, and you get 125% on your second and third deposit, all up to $2,000. So deposit less and bet with more at BetUS. We'll be right back on Birds 365 in 3 minutes.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. counselor.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome back in, everybody, to a Football Friday edition of Birds 365 here on JAKIB Sports. Just 2 days out now from the NFC title game in Philly. Eagles versus Commanders. Who would have thought this, everybody? The Washington Commanders coming to Philly for an NFC title game. Credit to what those guys have done over there, because they have turned their organization around in one stinking year, Johnny Mac. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, you can do it. Some people say the Eagles did it, after last year's collapse as well. Obviously, a different situation. The Eagles were a very good team. They just couldn't figure it out defensively and made a catastrophic mistake moving from Sean Desai to Matt Patricia. But I digress. By the way, real quick. So this is from Rick Stroud, who covers the Buccaneers from the Tampa Bay Times. So, I can't speak for Rick, but he's probably getting this from the Bucs. So take that part of it. But Liam Cohen ghosted his bosses in Tampa Bay, again, who agreed to pay him $4.5 million to make him the highest paid coordinator in the NFL, along with Vic Fangio. For more than 26 hours, blaming his disappearance on a sick child while secretly sneaking away to Jacksonville to become the Jags head coach for a job that he had withdrawn his name for Wednesday. But I talk all the time. I don't know Liam Cohen from Adam. NFL head coaching, it's a position of leadership. He's going to be a failure. I don't know anything about him, but if that's true, and there's 2 sides to every story, and that's obviously tinted towards the Bucs.
Right.
Well, the Bucs agreed to pay him $4.5 million. They deserve a phone call. That is
I couldn't agree.
unbelievable. In fact, if I'm Tony and Chad, I'm like, I'm not. If I heard that, I'm like, all right, I'm going Robert Saleh. You can't even You don't think there's going to be any situations, any adversity, any uncomfortable moments as a head coach in the National Football League?
So true. I think you're speaking complete facts. Look, guy might be a great offensive mind. I mean, look, I tweeted it last night. Major red flags all around that whole situation. No.
Oh my Lord, I've never seen anything like it. I think Josh McDaniels. People bring up Josh McDaniels. I don't even think it's as bad as Josh McDaniels. It's worse. I mean, Josh McDaniels has no problem, telling people, "Hey, I'm going to screw you over," which I kind of at least have somewhat of respect for. I got a better offer. Bill wants me to stay. Blah blah blah. This guy just went off and hid. Yeah, that's a bad sign to me.
Terrible sign, no doubt about it. Let's keep breaking it down here, Johnny. I can't get over that though. The Liam Cohen thing, and did it get confirmed now? He's going to be hired in Jacksonville.
Yeah. Well, he's told the Bucs now finally that he has agreed to a head coaching deal with the Jags. So, and I think the Bucs would say, you know what, we don't want you at this point.
I bet you Baker Mayfield wanted him. That's three going to be three coordinators in 3 years for him, and he's continued to thrive.
Yeah, he'll be fine. That's part of it, as Howie explained. And the Eagles look like they're going to luck out this year.
It is part of it, but don't you want to limit it to a certain extent?
Well, if you can, but it's the Howie's point was it's not really realistic. The part where you can limit it is on the bad side, and nobody wants to hear about the bad side. Like good teams, and I even criticize the Eagles are one of the best organizations in the NFL. It's hard to argue with that, and I agree with it, and I say it all the time. And even they are too quick with the hook. Like Brian Johnson should still be the offensive coordinator here. I'm sorry, he should be. He should be. But when things don't work out the way people want, the nature of this league is you need a scapegoat. Look at Cincinnati with Lou Anamuro. That dude's a good defensive coordinator.
Really
good. They didn't have a great year because they had a lot of issues, a lot of injuries defensively. Somebody's got to pay for them not making the playoffs. It's not going to be they're keeping Zach Taylor. And he's the guy who's got to be scapegoated. So Indianapolis, Shane Steichen, good for him, gets a great defensive coordinator. And Cincinnati gets Al Golden, who I know from his days at Temple here, was Notre Dame's defensive coordinator, was in Cincinnati under Lou as a linebackers coach before he went to Notre Dame. You really think that's a smart move? I don't know. These teams are too quick to scapegoat people.
John, there's a lot of bad organizations in this league. The more I talk to you, the more I realize that.
Oh, there is. There's a lot of bad organizations. And that's where the Eagles have such an advantage. And unfortunately, it looks like Josh Harris, of all people, has calmed things down dramatically and hired good people in Washington. And that's that's how quickly you can turn it around.
We'll see what happens. If John, I'm not one of the people that cares that much about him owning multiple teams in multiple cities. I just think he's a businessman. If that motherfucker's raising up the NFC title crown in Philadelphia with snowballs being thrown at him or whatever the hell the fans can come up with, that's not going to sit well, Johnny Mac, with the city. I'm telling you right now.
No, it's not. But hey. Washington's coming to try to win the game.
No doubt.
They're not worried about that. I can tell you that. They're worried about the talent on the Eagles. But, they're going to be upset if anybody beats them in Philadelphia. So,
Johnny Mac, let's get into this game here real quick. And we're gonna have Les Bowen, so we'll talk to him about it as well. But Saquon Barkley in this game, John, he's been the factor. He's been the number one reason they've won so many games this year. He is a beast, obviously, and having an unbelievable season. What do you expect him to do in this game? And do you expect it to be the same level of productive, even with Jalen Hurts having a banged up knee. I mean, I think we can trust this offensive line. It doesn't rely on Jalen Hurts, but it certainly helps. And if you don't have that in this game, or it's limited in this game, what could that mean for Saquon Barkley and what he's able to do?
Yeah, tougher road. I always say about Saquon, I like the NBA comparison. You know, he's going to get his 25. Hey, you don't want it to be 45. So, you know, 125 to 135, that's fine. Maybe not for you. You got to give up a jersey, but 200, over 200.
I've given up enough of them already. I'll give away another one.
Over 200. Yeah, he can't have that. So number one, he's going to get his, but you got to limit it as best you can, and you got to make him work for it. Got to make him work for it. You know, if it's 27, 28 carries for 125, that's pretty freaking good. You know, so that I think is the goal as a defense to when it comes to Saquon at this point. And the offensive line. Remember, it's not only Jalen Hurts, it's Cam Jurgens as well. So and if Tyler Steen has to play, that there's two parts of the equation a little bit out of whack that could help Washington in theory on paper. But he's always a step away from going 70 yards, and 120 turns into 190. And more importantly, the 6 or 7 points if Jake can make the extra point.
Right.
You know, those 3-run home runs are a big deal.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I want to ask you about one thing. And James Carver, you read my mind. I was going there next. Did you hear Jordan? Obviously you did. You were in the room. How about Jordan Mailata's quote yesterday? I'm sorry about this, everybody. I couldn't give a fuck, he said, about the people, I guess, who doubt Jalen Hurts. Jordan Mailata sounding off, protecting his quarterback. I loved it, Johnny Mac.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's Jordan. Yeah, I tweeted that out as well. I think part of it was just frustrated with Brookie too. Brookie was asking a bunch of questions he got frustrated with, but
does Brookie have a tendency to do that?
Sometimes. He kept bringing up the loss in Washington. Sure, it's like, dude, fucking shut up, basically. But yeah, I mean, it's Jordan. He tries to get through a press conference without throwing an F-bomb or an S-bomb, but it's difficult for him. So, yeah, I mean, the question was, you know, outside people giving, you know, more praise for Jaden Daniels to Jalen Hurts. So why would Jordan Mailata give a fuck?
Well, I think the sentiment that they have is right. I mean, it's just about, we don't care. I mean, that none of those opinions help us win games.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, a lot of it is common sense, but yeah, I mean, people like when Jordan throws such an affable guy, such a big guy.
He is a very affable guy. It's a great word for him.
But he likes to throw the occasional curse in.
No doubt about it.
And he always apologizes, which tells you. I apologize.
He's like, I know you guys are going to get fined for this or whatever happens when I drop the F-bomb, but I'm going to say it anyway. All right, here. And that was pretty good stuff. Looks like though, John, at least it feels like we're going to get Kellen Moore back. That's an off-season conversation, but if the Cowboys go with Schottenheimer, who knows how that will play out. I mean, that's a very Dallas hire, if you ask me, an in-house guy
with the most money going the cheapest is basically what that is.
Yeah. I don't know. Is Jerry not as liquid as his team would insinuate he is?
Jerry's liquid, man. Jerry's got his clutches into this whole league.
He's got cash. He's got cash money, Jerry.
That's if I were a Cowboy fan, that would be the most frustrating part for me because there is no salary cap with off the field stuff. Executives, coaches, assistant coaches, scouts, training staff, you can spend as much money as you want. And the Dallas Cowboys could blow everybody out of the water if they wanted to.
And the Eagles, don't the Eagles blow most teams out of the water with that stuff?
We see with Big Fangio. I mean, he came out yesterday, $4.5 million for a coordinator.
Yeah, but even deeper than that, those are great too, obviously. But the scouts and the
they have one of the largest scouting
assistant
staffs,
general managers and the everything. I mean,
I've given Jeffrey credit for that as well. They have one of the largest scouting staffs. For all the, Howie's got a big staff. Like I always say, who's the best? I've said for years, Zander. I've said for years, Howie's top 5. Is he number 1? Probably not, but he's top 5. I've always had tremendous respect for Duke Tobin in Cincinnati because he's got nothing,
right?
Nothing, and he builds good rosters, or he has been built good rosters over the years. And he's got like a 6-man staff, and how he's got like 40. That's something where fans can't see. A lot of fans don't know. You have there is no salary cap when it comes to off the field stuff. So you can create a very large advantage if you have the money and you want to spend it. And Jeffrey Lurie has, to his credit, never shied away from doing that.
Good stuff there, Johnny Mac. Let's get to our next commercial break. We're going to have Les Bowen coming up. El Yepa checks in. El Yepa, good to hear this, man. Zander got my awesome jersey yesterday. Much appreciated. El Yepa, good stuff, man. I know we had to deal with the P.O. box and stuff, and it was getting a hard time. But I'm happy you got it, man. I'm happy you like it. So I appreciate all your support on the channel. Appreciate everybody's support on the channel. Don't forget to hit that like button for us. And we'll be right back here on Birds 365 in 3 minutes. Let me just tell you guys about the great people at BetUS. It's betus.com.pa. Use the promo code YouTube150. And you get 150% sign-up bonus on your very first deposit. Get 125% on your second and third deposit, all up to $2,000. So deposit less and bet with more at BetUS. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Hit that like button, everybody. We'll be back in 3 minutes with Les Bowen on Birds 365.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome back in, everybody, to Birds 365, a Football Friday edition. Waiting now to be joined by Les Bowen. He's running a little bit behind, but he will be with us in just a second. So we'll talk to Les coming up now. John, I was just looking on my X to make sure I didn't miss any Eagle news. I saw Liam Cohen's wife is now tweeting stuff out. I don't want to get back into that, though. But I'm seeing here from Jeff McMullen. All right, Jeff McMullen did a ad we've talked about this ad nauseum all year long. And he puts out, Kellen Moore was hired to rescue Jalen Hurts in an offense, specifically the pass, that was stale, but the scheme hasn't looked like the Eagles' offensive coordinator's previous offenses. Why? And then there's a quote from A.J. Brown. We do know we're winning, obviously, and that's the main goal. But if we can correct these things, that would be great, because if you don't fix it, it's going to show. And I read that, and I'm like, boy, that sounds a lot like what John McMullen's been telling us on Birds 365 all year long.
Yeah. Well, and there's only, to the Eagles' credit, there's only 8 quarters left. So, I mean,
yeah.
But I do think it's difficult, especially when you win. It's difficult to be honest with yourself. Certainly more so from a fan perspective, but even from an organizational perspective. And I think the Eagles have been pretty honest that they need to fix it. They understand they need to fix it. I talk about it all the time when fans get upset. When I talk about it, I go, hey, they're upset about it. Forget about me. Don't worry about me. You got a problem with it because the Eagles are upset about it.
Right.
You want to get better, but that's that. Now we're at the point that's for the off season again. And as I said, wherever they land, lose the NFC Championship game, lose the Super Bowl, even win the Super Bowl, wherever they land, those are the 3 options. Even with the best option, the first thing they will do in the offseason is try to fix the passing game again, try to evolve the passing game. Because it's not sustainable. You know, when you talk about the new normal, if you want to go back to Doug, if you talk about wanting to be the Patriots or wanting to be the Chiefs, and you want to do it every single year, it's got to be better than it has been this year. Yeah, there can be outliers, and this might be the outlier, but it's got to be better. And everybody knows it, including Kellen Moore, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, certainly Jeffrey Lurie. Everybody knows it.
We'll see how it all plans out with everything. But as you said, right now, I'm pretty sure they're all focused on just winning the next 2 games. And, you know, I thought Nick's answer was great on that too. I mean, obviously it's what he's going to say, but his answer was pretty good. I don't care what anybody says about anything right now. I think it was a response to the not being in the coach of the year conversation.
Yeah. How do you feel about not being? Whatever. Your thoughts.
Yeah. Well, that's what they went with. All right, John, let's get to our guy, Les Bowen, who's joining us now here on Birds 365. Les, welcome to the show, man. Happy Football Friday to you. 2 days out from an NFC title game in Philadelphia.
Yes. How is everybody?
Good. Good to see you, Les. 3rd in 8 years. I'm going to say it right off the bat. And by the way, the Eagles won 38-7, I believe, and 31-7 in the 2018 and 2023 NFC Championship games. I think this is their easiest one. Now, but while I say that, I don't expect that kind of blowout, because you never expect that kind of blowout against a good team at this point. But I look at this and I'm not shying away. I'm not a shrinking violet. They're the better team. They're the more talented team. Just don't beat yourself.
Well, there you put your finger on it pretty well. they left at least a dozen points on the field and had Matthew Stafford, a flick of the wrist away from ending their season last Sunday for no good reason whatsoever. That bothers me, but you're right. I mean, if you just look at the rosters, I don't think there's a lot of areas where Washington has an edge. Even, Washington's offensive line isn't great, and their best offensive lineman, Sam Cosmi, went down in the last game. So, they're going to have a backup against Jalen Carter. Unless Jaden Daniels just totally, performs magic, I just don't see how they lose unless they turn the ball over a bunch and do stupid stuff, like you said.
Les, what's your general thoughts on Jalen Hurts coming into this game? Obviously, he's a dual threat, quarterback who thrives with the running game. If that's taken away, how do you think that changes the offense this week? And what do you think Kellen Moore will have to do differently to adjust to that? Or maybe it's not a threat. Maybe it's not a problem at all. Maybe Jalen's out there and he takes his painkillers and he's ready to go. I don't know.
I would hope that second scenario is the one, because they have struggled when Jalen's been limited in the past. I do think you can throw against the Commanders. You can get the ball to A.J. Brown, who's kind of been a forgotten man in this postseason. If you have to win it that way, I don't see a problem. It is we saw in the last game against the Commanders, you take the running quarterback out of the equation and suddenly they can load up against Saquon Barkley. And that was pretty effective for them. I don't know if that'll be the case this week or not. The Eagles probably, you don't want to be in that situation unless you have to. I mean, if they can get anything out of Jalen Hurts without re-injuring himself or something, I think they'll do it. I don't think they'll craft a game plan where there's not any threat of the quarterback running. But it's a concern. The fact that he was a full practice participant yesterday, makes me think that he's not going to be limping around out there. But if he gets hit a couple times, who knows, really?
Yeah, it's one of the things, unless you know better than most, so many guys are banged up this time of year. You just talked about AJ. AJ's not 100%. So many of these guys are not 100% fighting through something. And, too many people kind of assume, all right, they're out there, they're good to go. But those limitations can show up pretty quickly. So we're just going to have to wait and see when it comes to Jalen Hurts. This Cam Jurgens injury, though,
that's
this one, because a couple reasons. On Wednesday, the Eagles signed a 32-year-old offensive lineman to the practice squad on January, 20, whatever it was. I'm like, that's not normal. No. So that was the first red flag. I'm like, why are they bringing in Cam Irving, who has played center in the past?
Yes.
And all of a sudden, here we go. Cam Jurgens isn't practicing. He's got a back injury. All of a sudden, you had that weird Nick Sirianni. They'll be there at practice, playing semantic games. But he's not going to practice. And by the way, he wasn't even there, Les. So he wasn't there.
He wasn't practice. There. Yeah.
And Landon Dickerson has taken the first team reps in individual.
Yeah, that surprised me just a little bit because, John, we've talked about this, how Jeff Stoutland doesn't like to change two positions on the offensive line. He would much rather just have a guy step in from the bench rather than shuffle guys around. And Dickerson was the original. Well, he wasn't the original, but before Jurgens,
third heir apparent.
Yeah, but I was going to say you have to go back to like Suamalo to get the original, I guess. But one of the reasons why they drafted Landon Dickerson was to be Jason Kelsey's replacement.
Yes,
it turned out they thought he'd be better at guard. They ended up drafting another Jason Kelsey replacement in Jurgens. But it makes sense to me that you would plug Dickerson in there. But it is a departure for Stoutland to.
Yeah.
He's got to have Tyler Steen now at guard. I think that'll work, but
I'm much more concerned about left guard than I am at center. I don't worry about Landon at all at center.
Right.
But I'm much more worried about that downgrade from Landon to Tyler Steen. at left guard. But as you kind of pointed out, Les, Washington loses their best offensive lineman, who would probably be the 6th best in Philadelphia, to be honest. So you have to persevere through those kinds of things. Now, Landon talked yesterday, and I don't know if you saw it, but he said, there's clips where he's talking about he expects Cam to play. You know how they put up a clip and then they don't put the context. And then he said, ask Nick, ask the trainers. I'm not a medical guy after that. So
it's hard to know. I did see that. I mean, these guys talk with one another. And I would imagine he has some idea of whether Juergens is going to be able to play. But it's always possible that he doesn't, I mean, it's always possible that he's just kind of throwing that out there thinking, well, I would play if it were me,
He would
I don't
play,
know.
by the way.
I don't know what their relationship is. I don't know,
they're good friends. I
figured they were, they all dress in that one little, row there, but I don't know if he knows something or if he doesn't know something. It's, I've seen it go both ways in those situations where the teammate said something like that and the guy was fine, and the teammate said something like that and it was totally off. The guy, he didn't really know the situation. So I don't know. But I did see that and I puzzled over it. If Juergens does play, I hope he doesn't play unless he's really himself, because a back injury it affects you don't have any power, if you're really messed up in the back. Him going out there with a back injury, it's not something you shoot up like a finger or an ankle or something.
And especially for an offensive lineman. I mean, you go back to Sean Andrews, who was a great player, and then all of a sudden he started having back issues, and it could be Tim Jernigan on the defensive line. Remember, he hurt his back lifting. He must have missed close to a year at the one point.
He had to have surgery on his. But I just hope that if Juergens does play, that he's able to really be himself, and not because Washington's got a decent front. They have some guys that can.
Jonathan Allen's back. He's he missed most of the season with a partially torn pec, I guess. But he's back and he's generating some significant pressure, at least in the first 2 playoff games. So they have some good players. And let's start with their best player, Jaden Daniels. You ever seen a rookie like this?
Not really. I don't remember that much about Mahomes' rookie season.
Well, he didn't play.
He was on the bench.
That's right. He was on the bench. His first season as a starter.
I
guess I should have said.
Pretty good,
but he was on the bench. So that makes it it's not the same comparison, No, I haven't really seen anything quite like it. I know it's real easy with a rookie quarterback or a quarterback who's just starting for the first time to get way out in front of yourself. And, we've seen it a million times. We saw it here with Carson Wentz and a little bit with Hurts the Super Bowl year. Teams will adjust to what Jaden Daniels does, but
it's not coming until the off season. There's only so much you can do right now.
Right. So I think he's tremendous. I think I followed him a little bit at LSU. I thought he was tremendous in college. I was not surprised that he was good. I didn't expect him to be this good right away, but that's a factor this weekend, not just him, but the whole thing with Washington, ding dong, the witch is dead. Dan Snyder's out of there. There's a franchise quarterback, a new coach. I think there's a lot of confidence and euphoria around the team that can really, it won't make it easier to block Jalen Carter, but it's going to be, there's a lot of mojo there. There's a lot of, they have an intangible, I think that's pretty significant. And I wouldn't discard it. They went into Detroit and won. And in the aftermath, we all kind of said, oh, Detroit's got so many defensive injuries, no wonder. But I don't think anybody was saying that before the game.
Yeah.
I mean, we all knew about the injuries, but Detroit had persevered through that and won every.
They gave up, 9 points to the 14-win Vikings the week before or whatever.
Yeah. And I was tremendously impressed. Now, I was tremendously unimpressed with Dan Campbell and the whole the Lions process in making some of their decisions with trick plays and crazy crap. But
and Ben Johnson gets $15 million to put his season in the hands of Jameson Williams. Yeah, I mean, I don't want Jameson Williams strong, great player, but I don't want him throwing the ball when I need a drive scoring. I gotta score in that situation. I'm with you. But here's what I like about Washington, Les. And this is what I didn't like about the Rams last week. If you're going into a hostile environment and you're facing a more talented team, you're going to have to be aggressive to win. Some things are going to have to go your way. And you're going to have to make some plays and make your own luck. And he's been so aggressive on fourth down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worked for him. He's got this dual threat. You can imagine. All right, what do you do on 4th and 2 against Washington? They got a quarterback who can run it, he can throw it, he can do this it makes it very difficult. The Eagles were able to do it with Zach Bowen in the first game. They stopped him on a key 4th down. But it's very, very difficult. It's been very successful. The one thing I will say about Washington is they're coming to win this game. They will try. Yeah. They're not going to kick field goals like Sean McVay and say, even if it was snowing, it's cold, it's snowing, let's take the points. Let's flip the field.
Yeah.
They're going to make the Eagles play 4 downs to stop.
And the weather's not going to bother them. They come from the same weather. They practice in the same weather the Eagles do.
Yeah.
It's, I have a lot of respect for what Washington has done. And I think the Eagles should win, but I'm not sure it's going to be easy. And the Eagles need to, I just want to see, I've written a couple things this week and I've gotten some criticism for being not really negative, but in pointing out frustrations that I have with this team.
I think they're fair. I've been seeing your Twitter, Les. I've seen them.
I just want to see this offense work the way it should with the personnel that it has. People were bringing up to me after last weekend and the passing stats that the Eagles put up. Well, Josh Allen only threw for 127 yards. Who are Josh Allen's
I hate that. I hate that conflation.
Yeah, well, I mean, who are Josh Allen's receivers? Is his offensive line as good as the Eagles' offensive line? Was he playing a better defense? Yes, he was. There's no excuse for the Eagles having to struggle like this in the passing game. There's just no reason for it. I'm sure you guys have talked about this, but
we've been talking about it. Well, you and I, we've been talking on this show.
What is
quite
the
a bit.
reason for this? What possible reason could there be for?
Well, Les, let me ask you this because this is where I am mentally. Where I agree with everything you're saying so much to the point it almost agitates me because I'm like, we're 16-3 and 8 quarters away from winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm watching it and I'm like, this is constipated with 2 top 10 wide receivers. It doesn't make sense at all. So I'm trying to figure out how to balance. We just keep winning. The Eagles just keep winning games. But man, it could look way prettier.
And it could be so much easier. Like I said, they were, and I dwelled on this a little bit because I didn't think a lot of the media did. They were on the very brink of disaster.
I brought it up multiple times, Les. If Jalen Carter saved the season,
yes,
the Eagles defensive back slipped behind that pass rush, and if Stafford had time to throw, I don't know if the receiver would have gotten in the end zone, but he would have gotten down to the 1 or 2.
Yeah.
At the worst case scenario, if CJ came up and really laid a good hit, and then you got 45 seconds or so to punch it in, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But you're that close to where everybody's complaining about what you're saying. So I don't think your criticism is warranted.
That would have been one of the top 5 disasters in the history of Philadelphia sports. Right up there with 64 Phillies, the 2002 Rondé Barber playoff game. I mean, you could have ranked them right up there. I mean, to be ahead by 13 points with 3-something left in the game, and had they lost, but people just don't want to.
Winning cures everything.
Within 24 hours, it was all about Saquon Barkley and the snow, and wasn't it beautiful?
They're selling the snow for $50 a pint. Did you get your pint of snow?
I did not. I missed out on that. But God bless Eagles fans. That's really cool that they're doing that. But I that's kind of what I'm saying here is that even though the Eagles are better than Washington, I mean, they just keep leaving themselves vulnerable.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, your old colleague Jeff McMullen came out with his latest podcast, and I've been talking about this all year, and Jeff, I'll read what his tweet. Kellen Moore was hired to rescue Jalen Hurts in an offense, specifically the passing game, that was stale, but the scheme hasn't looked like the Eagles' OC's previous offenses.
Right?
Why? And then, the little tease for the podcast. And he's got an A.J. Brown quote, which is, "We do know we're winning, obviously, and that's the main goal. But if we can correct these things, that would be great, because if you don't fix it, it's going to show." Well, there's only 8 quarters left. They might go
an awful lot of games at this point.
Yes. So, I mean, this is it. It's not changing. But my question to you is, this offense, Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen, Brian Johnson, and now Kellen Moore, mechanically looks the same. There's different success levels. Obviously, everybody will point to Shane. But if you look at those games, it looks the same for the large part.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's obvious. They're building an offense around the quarterback and what he's comfortable with.
But why is he? The thing that nobody can answer is, why would the quarterback be comfortable with extremely difficult throws that take a long time to develop? What is the?
Well, I think he's uncomfortable with getting the football out quickly. I don't think it's comfortable versus. I think it's what he's uncomfortable with.
But do you have to, at some point, sort of pan back and look at that whole situation and the coordinators they've had and the problems they've had, and sit him down and say, look, in order for us to win the Super Bowl, you're going to have to be comfortable with getting the ball out quickly. Does that ever enter the equation? I mean, it isn't.
Well, I got to tell you, Les, the entire offseason, that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
That's what they were trying to do. And if you look at the first 4 games, they were trying to evolve it. And by the way, I'm not sure, because I think they were too quick to pull the plug, to be honest. Because if you look at those first 4 games, yes, they were turning it over too much, but AJ wasn't there for 3 of those games.
Yeah.
If you look at the last game against Tampa, the week 4, they didn't have AJ, they didn't have Devontae or Lane. So I thought they pulled the plug too quickly.
Yeah.
But they've lost 1 game. They keep winning, they keep winning, they keep winning.
John, you were there earlier this week. I thought Nick, who never says anything, said something really interesting, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, but he pretty much said, as long as Jalen doesn't turn it over, we win.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they are 9-0 this year.
Well,
and that's really true, but that doesn't mean your offense is functioning the way it should. It just means, hey, as long as he keeps the ball,
you hit the nail on the head, Les. They feel that if they don't turn it over, they're going to win. So they become so risk averse on offense.
Yeah.
And it's hard to argue with them because, again, they're 8 quarters away.
Yeah.
But to your point, I wish more people could recognize what you recognize, that I always talk about. The goal here is to increase the margin of error. Like, you shouldn't have been in a position where the Rams could have stolen that game.
God, no. If you don't take the safety and you kick the 2 extra points, you're not in that position.
Yeah.
You've got a 10-point lead. instead of a 6-point lead with Matthew Stafford driving down the field.
Yeah,
Just
and
those two things.
Jake
those
missing
two
kicks.
things.
Yeah, I mean Jake missing kicks is that's not. Yeah, he's got to make the kicks, but
well, that's extra points. I mean, you just can't.
Yeah.
Maybe you can miss an extra point, but multiple extra points? No, he's missed 3 in 2 games.
I wonder if they're going to just start going for 2. I mean, if you make one of them, you make up for the 2 misses you might have.
That's right. That was Chip Kelly's when they first came up with where they changed where they put the ball for 2-point conversion. Chip Kelly's was thinking out loud, if you go for it every time, you only have to make half of them.
Right.
Have the same number of points.
Yeah.
And he didn't ever do that, but it was an interesting thought exercise anyway. But
and when your kicker can't hit a point after, it makes it more enticing.
And that the safety kind of crystallized some of my problems with Kellen Moore. So they had first down on the 2, right? They ran the ball up the middle with Saquon for 4 yards. 2nd and 6 from the 6. They had him drop back into the end zone right after suffering a knee injury. Why? What was the need for that? What was the
I'm with you. I said because Zander's been on that as well, and I agree. I would have ran the football because they weren't effective throwing.
Roll him out, do something, 3-step drop. Injured. You don't need to have him wander all the way back into the end zone. God.
But here's where I'll say this is what frustrates me, Les, because you have this whole group of people that you can't criticize the quarterback. His passer rating's over 100. Not turning the football over.
Well, he does do some things well. I mean, it's not like
he does a ton. Try to put he does a ton of things well. But the point is, everybody trusts Jalen Hurts. Well, if you trust the quarterback, you should be able to drop him back in that situation if you want to. And Dallas Goedert was open over the middle.
Yeah,
there's got to get rid of the football.
There's definitely that. Yes, but
I'm with you.
Part of that situation was the knee injury had just occurred.
Yeah, I would have ran it. I
wouldn't physically trust him in that situation. That was just a disaster. They didn't get a block up front.
Well, also at the end of the game when they ran it for Saquon and they were trying to run out the clock at that point.
Which they're usually very good at, and they just totally screwed that up.
Kellen Moore decided to run a bootleg on a bum knee, and Jalen had an 8-yard sack. I'm like, what are you doing? You need 10 yards to win this game.
I think somebody said they used up 14 seconds on that possession.
Yeah, and all you needed was really one first down to make the Rams basically have no chance.
So these are the things that really give you pause, but they do have, the Eagles have the best roster left in the playoffs.
I agree.
Even Kansas City, I mean, obviously Patrick Mahomes, but Kansas City doesn't have the Eagles receivers. Kansas City doesn't have the Eagles offensive line. And Buffalo, the team that if the Eagles win this week, I would love to see Buffalo in the Super Bowl because A, it's a great story. B, Buffalo's not that good.
No,
Buffalo, a guy had to drop a 2-point conversion for them to, not have to go to overtime last week against the Ravens. Buffalo's a lot like the Eagles in some ways, frankly. I'm
with you. The Eagles are the most talented team left.
But that also is almost something that gives me concern, Les, because in 22, who was the better roster in the Super Bowl, the Eagles or the Chiefs? In your opinion?
Probably the Eagles, yeah.
And then they had Patrick Mahomes, who was the great equalizer at quarterback. And I think coming into these last couple of playoff games, not as a knock on Jalen, but I think what they've asked him to be this year is every team we're going to face for the rest of these only 2 teams is going to have an advantage at quarterback, and that could be a great equalizer in any game.
The big difference this year is the Eagles' defense is so much better. The Eagles' defense in 2022 had all these stats, but we knew, we'd seen they played a very easy schedule, and we kind of knew that anytime they saw a good quarterback, they struggled, which has not been the case so much this year. I think they're better off in that, but I don't want to see a team that's won 3 of the last 5 Super Bowls in the, that's an advantage. I mean, that's really an advantage to have so many guys that have been there and done it, on your team. That almost outweighs the Eagles roster advantage to me. But Buffalo, I think the Eagles would have a good time playing Buffalo. I think that, I wouldn't say they kill them, but I think they're on very even ground with Buffalo. But they have to win this week first, obviously.
At Les Bowen, make sure you follow Les on the X platform. Read him at PHLY_sports. Don't criticize him. He's making perfect sense.
That's okay. They can criticize.
No, they can criticize. I love your take on Joe Witt, by the way, and all this about running backs don't have extra. Quarterbacks are running backs when they leave the pocket. There's no. You're supposed to hit them, all of them. Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels is Washington's leading rusher, by the way.
Yes.
So you really want to put that out there about how quarterbacks don't.
Oh, now that I'll disagree with you only from the standpoint of he got asked a question. He's answering the question.
Yeah, I know.
How I would have answered it, Les, is I would have said exactly that. Well, quarterbacks lose that extra protection when they lose the pocket and become a runner. So we're going to hit them like a running back. I would have tried to educate people.
Yeah.
But
until he slides, I would have said until he slides.
Yes.
Which he didn't.
But anybody, technically, a running back can slide. He has that same protection, but a running back never would. Quarterbacks are trying to protect themselves. Receivers can slide in the open field, give themselves up. They do it all the time at the end of games.
True.
There is no extra protect. I think a lot of fans don't understand that.
Right.
When the quarterback leaves the pocket, there is no extra protection. There isn't. Now with Patrick Mahomes, superstars, they give them that deference, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And the sideline gets trickier when it's a quarterback because you see a guy trying to make a hit on the sideline, and that's a little.
Well, and by the way, I give Patrick Mahomes credit for that. If he's savvy enough to realize, hey, I'm going to stay in bounds and you push me and I'm going to get 15 yards, Godspeed. I mean, I think that's a savvy play. Prediction time, Les, who's going to win it? NFC Championship. We're all going to New Orleans, aren't we?
Yeah. I'd like the Eagles. I think there'll be some points scored this week. I'll be a little bit surprised if it's a low-scoring game. I would say 32-27 Eagles. The Eagles haven't shown the ability to pull away from anybody really in these playoffs. So it'll be a nice surprise if they do, but I'm not counting on it.
Good stuff. We appreciate you joining in. What's that, John? Go ahead.
32 points is impressive for this.
Yeah, I think they can score 32. They've scored 33 in the last game and lost with Kenny Pickett most of the game. So
Have they? I guess only one other time this year they've topped 33, and that was the opener.
I'd have to look, but that's probably
that was a shootout against Green Bay.
I think they put up 34 in that game.
Yeah.
Interesting. Les, thanks for joining in, man. We appreciate it. Make sure you guys go and catch up with Les Bowen, one of the best in the business. We appreciate you joining today, brother, and hopefully we talk to you again before a Super Bowl here for the Birds.
That'd be great. Take care, guys.
Thanks Les. Appreciate
Bye-bye.
it.
There's Les Bowen joining us on Birds 365. Great stuff. Love talking to Les. John, I like a guy who can come in and have an opinion that differs from everybody else, even when everybody's clamoring you're wrong. I love that about Les.
Yeah, well, Les wasn't wrong in that particular issue.
No, he was not. But everybody's telling him he is.
We brought it up on the show multiple times, but they, I don't know what to tell you. They were 13 yards away from stealing the game, and Jalen Carter saved the season.
Yeah, you heard Les. I mean, he said he would have put it in one of the all-time collapses of Philly.
Oh, it would have been a disaster.
It would have been a disaster.
I mean, can you imagine doing this show on the day after Matthew Stafford?
Man.
If that play is a touchdown, I mean, yeah, the same people telling Les he's wrong would be losing their ever-loving minds. and just complaining about the offense and the passing game and Kellen Moore and this and that and this. And the Eagles have been trying to, as Jeff has pointed out in his podcast, we've been talking about it all year for the most part. This is not out of whole cloth. And that's why I like when other people do it, and Jeff's doing it on his podcast.
Right.
This shit has been talked about for weeks and weeks and weeks. Not only in front of the camera, but behind the camera at the NovaCare complex.
Good stuff, John. We got a few super chats, then we'll get our predictions. What is on the agenda for the Philadelphia Eagles today, Johnny Mac?
They just changed the schedule. I don't have my phone next to me. 12:10, Nick Sirianni. I think 12:40 is practice, and then locker room after that. Quick practice today. So, but key to see if Cam Jurgens. I expect Dallas Goedert to practice. I'm not sure about Cam Jurgens.
We'll see about that. And maybe we'll do a practice report tonight if I don't have Cilio again. I got a fair. The fires are raging out there again, John, and they're right by Big
Well,
Silly.
it's championship. But I got radio at 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6:25. So we got to figure it out in between.
All right, we'll figure it out. I'll text you about that. We'll handle that business off the air. Let's read a couple super chats, then we'll get our predictions in here. Devin Parker checks in. What's up, Devin? Appreciate it. I live in the DMV. I'm a UPS driver that enters a building full of Commanders fans. Today, the madness began. I will be unbearable if we win this game. The hog is going down. Fly, Eagles, fly. I love it, Devin. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for your support. And that sucks that you live in the DMV area. But maybe
those people have been down for a long time. I mean, they have a right.
They have come back
excited.
strong. We've been taking over their stadium for how many years, and now they're
all. Yeah, they have a right to be excited. But yeah, I think you're going to be in good shape.
No doubt about it. Brian Pumper says, I'm loving this Jalen Hurts roast session. Close your ears, Jalenites. Keep cooking.
Well, I don't even think it's a roast. I constantly point at the things he does well. But there's so much he does. I always use the term relentless to describe him. But I mean, anybody who looks at this offense and says the passing game isn't an issue is lying to themselves. And they want to blame everybody but the quarterback. And it's been like at some point you blame Nick Sirianni. All right, you didn't blame Shane Steichen. You did blame Shane Steichen the first year. You didn't blame him the second year because they won at a high level. And Jalen played at a runner-up MVP level. Brian Johnson and now Kellen Moore. I mean, at what point do you look in your mirror and say it's all these people's fault, but it's not this guy's fault? You're lying to yourself. Look at what Brian Johnson's doing. And by the way, Jalen Hurts loves Brian Johnson. And Jalen Hurts, the guy working with him during that second year of Shane Steichen, during all those first years of the Nick Sirianni era, the guy working with him the most on a day-to-day basis was Brian Johnson. And now he's in Washington with Jaden Daniels, and he's having the best work. And not even in the back of your mind, you say, hey, maybe Brian Johnson wasn't the problem.
People don't like to talk about that, John. Nate the God says, J Mac Izzle. I love when he calls you that. J Mac Izzle. You always talk about margin of error. What's Washington margin of error versus the Eagles and the Bills versus KC?
Washington's margin of error is very small because they're the lesser talented team. They're on the road. They have to do a bunch of, as I pointed out, they have to be aggressive. They have to make their own breaks. They have to. You can't sit back. You can't settle for points. You can't flip the field. You gotta seize any moment you have to try to pull off the upset. Buffalo against Kansas City. Well, Kansas City plays. It's very similar to the Eagles, really, if you think about it. They play in a fashion where generally they're going to keep you in the game. So, and then they rely on the defense and pressure to close things out generally late. Patrick Mahomes to make a few big plays to put the somewhat limited offense over the top. So the very nature of the way the Chiefs play usually keeps the opponent in the game, at least somewhat. So, Buffalo's mentality is to keep it close in the fourth quarter and go make a play. So, I think Buffalo's got a chance for the upset, but I have to lean on Kansas City until somebody beats them.
Yeah,
be the man. Ric Flair rules apply. To be the man, you got to beat the man.
Yep. D. Hughes says, just win, baby. Fly, Eagles fly. Appreciate it, D. Hughes. Brian Garner says, coming in late again. A lot of people forget that along with CJ being thrown out, Reed went out with an injury, so both starters were out. That's true. Different game here, though, man. NFC title game. I'm not,
Yeah,
we'll
Reed was in on the final play, so he might have left for a little bit, but Reed,
he came back.
I forget if he would, but he was definitely in on the final play because Zach Bond was carrying the receiver into the end zone in front of Reed Blankenship. Zach probably should have sunk a little bit more. I remember specifically talking about this with Vic. So Reed was definitely on the touchdown with 6 seconds left. And Zach Bond didn't sink quite enough. And Jaden Daniels was able to make the touchdown to Jamison Crowder, I believe, caught the winning touchdown.
Yep, that's what it was. Johnny Mac, prediction time, brother. Who do you got? What is your final prediction and thoughts here on this Football Friday of Birds 365?
Yeah, the Eagles get third championship game again in 8 years, 38-7, 31-7, and those two teams were more talented than this one. So I don't like the spot for Washington. Now, you never expect blowouts like that. A lot of things have to happen. First game, it was the Chris Long play, as I like to call it. Completely stole the soul from the Vikings. And part of that had to do with the crowd and the environment. And Jonathan Gannon would talk about that. He was an assistant coach with the Vikings. When he came here, he was like, man, that completely devastated that team. And then San Francisco obviously was the Hassan Reddick game, completely wrecked the game, and turned into a very talented team in San Francisco, as you saw the next year. But they didn't have their quarterback. He had no arm when he came back. Obviously had to have UCL surgery after the game, completely legal hit. He also, people forget, he also knocked out Josh Johnson, who's a disastrous backup quarterback anyway. But anyway, that was the Hassan Reddick game. This team's less talented than both of those teams, the Washington Commanders. Now, I don't think things are good. Things have to break a very specific way to get blowouts like that. Probably not going to happen 3 for 3, but I do think the Eagles are the better team, and they're going to win the game 27-22. But maybe it's a late touchdown by Washington that gets it closer. I don't think it's going to be Matthew Stafford's got a chance to win the game with a minute left.
Good stuff there, Johnny Mac. I have, for my score prediction on this one, I have 26-23, and I think we win it on a field goal at the end. I think this
Jake Elliott. Hey, by the way, and we were talking about Jake with Les. Jake's had his worst season since 2020. Still better than Washington's kicker. They're on their third kicker. So
the light's going crazy over there. I'll let you run here in a second. 26-23, I have Johnny Mac. I think we win it in the last second. I don't think anything about this game is going to be easy. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to look pretty. I think it's going to look like an Eagles game has all year long. And I think they're going to win it at the end. One super chat. AJ says, does the Philly Jalen disrespect stop when we win Sunday? I'll say no. No.
I don't think anybody disrespects Jalen.
I know. I tried to tell people that yesterday. Nobody's out to get the Eagles. People are making shows. They talk about everybody. I mean,
I don't think anybody disrespects Jalen Hurts.
All right, we got to be respectful of John and let him go. I know he's got stuff to do. John, good stuff today, man. Good 27-22 was John's final prediction. We appreciate you doing it today, brother. We will talk to you maybe tonight, if not on the pregame show on Sunday. All right, brother?
All right, sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Matt. Good stuff there from John McMullen, the #1 Eagles beat reporter in town. Gotta love Johnny Mac. 27-22. I'm looking at that prediction. I'm like, how the hell do you get 22? Yeah, I don't know. I guess you could get that's a weird score, right? I mean, I can't even think of one. A couple touchdowns, a field goal, maybe a safety. I don't know. Maybe a missed point after, maybe a 2-point conversion. Missed field goal could happen. You could get that, Abe. Or I guess you could get a 2-point conversion. 1 2-point conversion works. That's good. I had 26-23. I think this game's gonna be close, guys. I look. We're a way better team. We are a way better team than this team. They have the great equalizer in this game. All right. Their quarterback's playing lights out. Whether you want to admit that or not, I don't really care. That's not my job, is to get you to admit something. Their quarterback is playing lights out right now. All right. I got 26-23 in this game. Yoshi War, I love it. This shit ain't gonna be close, dog. You might be right, man. Look, I would love to have another 38-7. I would love to have, maybe I'll start the post-game show early. I would love to have another 38-7. I don't see it right now. I don't see it right now. You know, we got a shift to the offensive line. Good point by Nile. You know, maybe Cam Jurgens isn't out there. A.J. Brown's banged up on the knee. Jalen Hurts is banged up on the knee. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think this is set up the same way. Now, obviously, you could always come out and win the game in a big way, but there's also an element of luck that goes into it, right? I mean, get the ball to bounce your way early in the game, and it could change the way the game goes. But I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be a really close one. So we will see. I'll take a few comments. I do want to do some Zander time today. My problem is it's been a busy week, and I don't really have anything to give away other than another JAKIB merch giveaway. I'm out of jerseys. I know I'm getting more Saquon jerseys, so maybe I could preemptively give away a Saquon jersey before I have my hands on it, which I don't like to do. But I could potentially do that. I'm definitely going to I'll do a JAKIB merch giveaway, though, because I told you guys on the show in the afternoon yesterday when I was filling in for Cilio that I would do a JAKIB merch giveaway. So I will do a JAKIB merch giveaway. Kenny, what's up, man? Good to see you in here. Brian, did you get your giveaway yet? I know I had a couple deliver yesterday. El Yepa said he got his. Most people are getting theirs. I still got some people who are out there that I still got to manage that I haven't yet managed. Devin Parker, obviously. Philly Don, I'm working on yours. Chuck Hutton, I'm working on you. Everybody else though should be. And I heard from Derek Elmore yesterday. You guys remember I told you guys Derek Elmore was one of our great legend members, and he won the Saquon Black and Kelly Green, and he checked in yesterday. He says, I'm a UPS driver. I don't comment much, but I listen every day. So he finally commented. So I got his information. So he's going to win the legend giveaway, which is good. Pump, I got your Saquon jersey. I shipped out this week. I shipped that out 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. Because it took me a little bit to get more Saquon jerseys in. They were obviously selling like hotcakes, the Saquon Barkley jerseys. So everybody should be good. Cody K, you're the other guy I'm working on. All right. And then once I get that handled, I'll be through everybody. So looking forward to it. Big game this weekend, everybody. I got a freaking bad headache today. You know, I hate headaches. I don't know about you guys. I hate headaches, but I'm not here to complain. All right, let's do some Zander time. I want to take some comments from you guys on the game. I took some yesterday. I talked to some people yesterday. I appreciated all the commentary that everybody had. It seems like we're all in the same boat with this game. Some of you are a little bit more confident than I am. You know, we had RMP. RMP, are you in here? RMP? Let me know if RMP is in the chat. Kenny says, Zander, you look like a headache. Yeah, might be true, Kenny. Might be true, brother. RMP comes up and he's like, it's the NFC title game. Why are you talking about Jalen's knee? Why are you, there he is. Why are you crying about RMP? I don't settle for silver medals, RMP. I don't settle for fucking silver medal. If your goal is to make it to an NFC title game, then by all means, get jacked up. We got a game to win, RMP. We got a game to win and a quarterback to shut up. Fucking RMP wants me to crown them because they made it to an NFC title game. Come on, RMP. Come on. Nah, he is. I love him. He's hilarious. I think he lives. RMP, where did you say you lived? You live in Cleveland or something? Oh, is RMP an Ohio State guy? Don't tell me he's an Ohio State guy. Eagles winning 40-23. I love it. I love it. I love it. How do you guys feel about Jaden Daniels? You know, I asked this question yesterday. I don't think you guys are giving credit to Jaden Daniels enough. All right. I don't think you guys are giving credit. That's a great word, Slager. Dangerous. Yeah, you're right. RMP. What the hell does that mean? Izzy B says he's good, but too dang skinny. Who the hell cares? Devontae Smith is skinny, right? Didn't everybody say that about Devontae Smith? That was his whole Heisman speech. When someone tells you you're too small, you're too this, you're too that, just keep working. Now, I don't give a shit how skinny he is. Maybe talk about a full career, maybe, but we got one game to win, man, and he's red hot right now. He's red hot right now. No doubt about that. Big Trag is starting a conspiracy in the chat. I think Zando bought a JD5 jersey. No, but Big Trag, I love football. I like good players. He's a good player, man. We're going to be dealing with this kid for a long time, man. We're going to be dealing with this kid for a long time. Kid is a special talent. All right. He's a special talent, you know? So I think he's going to be, I do think it's going to be an uphill battle. I like the way that I like the way that he seems to just, nothing phases him, man. Nothing phases him. Nothing phases him at all. Nate the GOAT, or Nate the Great. What's up, brother? I appreciate you. Good comments yesterday on the Cilio rant. Cilio got cut off in the middle of a legendary rant. Even Cilio haters were giving Cilio credit for that rant. That was a legendary rant. Nate says, Philly's more experienced and we're at home, but what worries me is Brian Johnson knows how Philly operates during this time of the year with Hurts, and he knows his tendencies. Other than that, 27-20 birds. Good stuff. Dank, you're probably right. You know, can't fix the thottery or whatever you want to call it. All right, you can't fix. You know, I can't legislate that. Wilfredo checks in. What's up, my guy? Appreciate it. Z, what do you think about the QB in Virginia Tech? He's from my hometown. Wilfredo, I'm not gonna lie to you for 1 second. All right, I have no fucking idea who the QB at Virginia Tech is right now. And the funniest part about that, Wilfredo, is my brother's a Virginia Tech graduate and my sister is a Virginia Tech graduate. So 2 of my family members went to Virginia Tech. That's a fun stadium to go to. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. That's a cool stadium. But I don't know who the quarterback is, so I can't give you a response. Philly 4 for 4. Zander gets this fake South Philly accent when the Kango comes out. Well, I wear a Kango almost every day. And I grew up not in South Philly, so I don't think I have a South Philly accent, but I talk like I normally talk. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, James Jones, Enter Sandman's iconic. Iconic. Suplex, why are you putting out the name of my mother on the chat? That is a weird thing to comment, bro. Yeah, Crowley, I almost texted Celia. What the hell was up with that comment? What the hell was up with that comment? I didn't like that comment. I'm like, bro, we ain't bailing on you because you got a freaking issue, but we do got to talk about the issue. Remember, we talked about confrontation on the show today. I was like, Sills, we got to talk about it, obviously. But we ain't moving on. We ain't moving on from that. All right, Jay Parker checks in. JD is dangerous, no doubt. I predict Jalen Carter picks him up with one arm just like he did in college. Yeah, that's one play. I think that might happen too, but got to get him down and got to deal with him for a full game, man. Tough. Brian Pump, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Everybody hating on Brian Pumper should thank Brian Pumper because we're giving away an extra jersey because of Brian Pumper. Love you, Pump. Appreciate you. Sunday we be the last day we see the Jalenites because rent is due and I got the boot for you. Sills can be bought. Everybody can be bought, my guy. Bob Brown, Zander, Coach Edwards comparing JD to Randall was perfect. Both are fluid. What's your coach? Herm Edwards? Not on JAKIB, right? Or did he do that a while back? I think he did that a while back. Yeah, DC Trucker. I'm with you, my guy. He says there's no hate on the young bull. He's an issue, no doubt. He can play, man. Bob says both are fluid. They glide but have slender builds. Randall has a stronger arm, but JD might be a better passer. Tough next 10 years. Yeah, and they have $100 million in cap space. And he's lifting up Olamide Zaccheaus. I mean, come on. Let's call a spade a spade. Jeff Bone says he probably had anxiety when he said that. Big Sills is really going through it. When you told him we got your back, he looked relieved. Yeah, you might be right, man. Look, the one thing I love about Cilio is he wears his emotions on his sleeve and he cares very deeply about stuff. I think a lot of people who talk about Cilio, they are so wrong about him just because they don't agree with his football takes. He's a really compassionate person. He's a very loyal person. Very loyal. Very, very loyal. He just doesn't think Jalen Hurts is good. He's never wavered on that. He doesn't think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. That's what Cilio. That's his entire perspective on the team. Kenny Sprague, in honor of Pump giving a Hurts jersey. There you go. I don't have a Hurts jersey. I'd like to get one though. Gary A becomes a member. Is that a new member? Gary A, thank you, brother. By the way, speaking of Cilio, I got to talk to him. I'm hoping that he's back up today. Gary, thanks for becoming a member, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, I always say to people, Philly people are all a certain way. And Cilio is the kind of guy that if you were a Philly guy, you'd love him. Like you might get pissed off with him, but he gives it to you straight. He tells you what he thinks and he believes what he says. So I love him. I love trash talk though. Like I've always loved trash talk. So not everybody likes trash talk. I like trash talk. I like shitting on. I like going back and forth with somebody. Yeah, exactly. Big C. He's just like Philly. So SMD yesterday, the fires are raging in California. Bad. Yeah, Brandon, are they still going crazy by Cilio? There's a good chance he's not on today. There's a good chance he's not on today. I don't want to put pressure on him. I don't want to. I'll call him and figure it out. If he's back up, he did say he was going to do a Saturday show for everybody because it's NFC title week and he didn't want to miss. So, Como, no update yet. So SMD, the fires are raging right by San Diego yesterday again. And Cilio's in that area in Escondido. And they shut off everything. They shut off his power and his internet. So he couldn't do a show. So what he did was he went to his Hummer and he, I agree, safety priority. He went to his Hummer and did he started the show just for 10 minutes from his phone. And he just went on a legendary rant, SMD. And then his phone crapped out and he froze and it was gone. It was gone after that, but it was really good. No, he's not in Philly. I texted him last night. I'm like, yo, bro, you want to move to Philly? I'll help you find some living. I'll help you figure everything out. I also offered him a place in Florida that I have. I was hoping he would take me up on that. Could go down there and I'll set him up in a place in Florida. Probably say how much money would he save too? I tell him that I must tell Cilio that once a week. Dude, get out of California. Not a viable solution, and they're charging you an arm and a leg to live there, man. Get to Florida. Get somewhere where you can keep more of your money, and have a sustainable success. Brody Z, I like Sills. I'm red pilled by Sills in reality. Yeah, I don't think it's a red pill. I think Sills just doesn't view it like an Eagles fan, and sometimes people how much people can't handle it. Dirty D. Stilio needs to make the jump and move the hell out of that shit state like all the other smart people like Rogan. Yeah, I think he will. Nah, it's not Northport. I had my dad owns a townhouse in Naples. And it's empty right now. My sister used to live there. She moved out of there. So we offered him it. We offered him it to go down and live there. So I don't know. We'll see. Whatever happens, like I said yesterday, I would never bail on. So that is not my MO. That is just no. I'm too loyal of a person to do that. I'm way too loyal of a person to do that. So not happening. I love Cilio. I don't care how many emails I get a day to fire him. I get a lot of them. Okay. I get a lot of them. Schmidt Degler. What's up, my guy? I appreciate it. One of my favorite names right here on the JAKIB chat is Schmidt Degler. I love it. Big Z, rocking them Kangos. What's good? I ain't going to lie. Worry about our D when it comes to a mobile quarterback. They've struggled with dual threat this year. Do we deploy a spy on Daniels this game? Schmidt, if it were me, it's kind of tough. Obviously, Vic Fangio knows more about football than me. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know more than him. But what I would try and do in this game is I would almost obviously pinch the edges. I would almost say to the edges, don't overcommit to the pass rush. If you can pinch those edges and not let him escape the pocket, and then let Jalen Carter go to work in the middle with Milton Williams on those the backup guard, obviously, a guy who doesn't even really play guard, and Trent Scott, you have such an advantage in that interior. I think that's how you force Jaden to beat you from the pocket, and not only beat you from the pocket, but beat you quickly from the pocket. So a spy on him would be good. I'd like to pinch those edges and force him to make throws from the pocket, but we'll see. We'll see. I think Vic will have a good game plan for him. But he's definitely a problem, and he's a good ass player. He's a really good player, and more importantly, he's playing really well right now. I think I said this earlier in the week, and a lot of people didn't like it, but I don't care. I think he's playing better than any of the quarterbacks left in the playoffs right now. I'm not saying he's better than them. I'm not saying he has a better career than them. I'm not even saying he's more talented than them. I'm saying right now he has been asked to do more in the playoffs, and he's done it better, more efficiently than any other quarterback right now. That's what I believe. I really believe he's playing that well. And he should be a tough task this weekend. James Jones checks in. Jaden spread the ball out, makes them all look good. No doubt, man. He really does. He does a good job, man. You guys, you finally got it right in Washington. All right. So you guys are going to be good. For Reals checks in. Big Z, I received my package last night. Love the jersey and the postcard. Much appreciated. For Reals, awesome, man. You got the AJ Brown jersey, right? AJ Brown, awesome, man. Hope you love the jersey. Hope it fits you well, and I hope you wear it. Wear it with pride out there in California. I think you're in California, right? So I appreciate it, man. Thank you for checking in and letting me know. Happy to hear that you got it. Leon says, why the hell is everyone sucking Daniels? I'm not sucking anybody, first off. That's a weird-ass comment, Leon. I love you, but that's a weird-ass comment. I just think the kid's a good football player. He's a good football player, and we got an NFC title game to win. Leon, what's the most important position on the football field? Come on, Leon. Football for kindergartners. What's the most important player on the football field? The quarterback. Who's got the better quarterback in this game? The Commanders do. The great equalizer. I've been saying that all week. Yeah, Coma, so many of you out there. Zander, there's so many Eagles fans in Cali. It's insane. Yeah, he's one of our top three. No, not top three. It goes Pennsylvania, New Jersey's number 2, obviously. I think number 3 is either New York or Texas. And then California of Eagles fans. But I told you guys some of the crazy countries that we're in. That's crazy. We have so many countries, man. So many countries of somebody asked me if we have South Africa. We had like 10 viewers from South Africa. It's crazy. Dirty D, what's up, brother? Appreciate your super chat. I'm convinced the Rams run that no-huddle offense more than the last 2 plays of the game. We would have been in big trouble. I know Quinn has noticed that, so I suspect a lot of no-huddle. Well, the other caveat there is Washington runs the most no-huddle in the entire NFL this year, 30 day. The highest rate of no-huddle offense in the entire NFL. And I showed you guys this chart. I'll pull it up again. I'll pull it up again here. Here it is. All right, let me drop the super chat real quick. There you go. You can see. So look at the rate. On the left side is the no huddle rate. So 60%, over 60% of no huddle for the Washington offense. And his EPA per dropback, which is what the bottom one is. And you can see Jalen Hurts is right here. So Jalen Hurts is really, really efficient in no huddle as well. But they run it way less. And I don't really understand why they run it way less when Jalen is that efficient. He's, really efficient. Jaden Daniels is as well. And then they also obviously run it the most. So you can see way at the top, Jaden Daniels up to 60%. Eagles are down at 25%, it looks like, right around there. So they run it a lot, and they're going to run it a lot this game. No doubt about it. I agree, Halpin. He says, like J-Mac says, each game is different. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt about that one. What other comment did I just see? I wanted to read. Como, my prediction was, what did I say? 26-23. 26-23 is my prediction. And in fact, Como, I'll go further. I think we win the game on a field goal from Jake Elliott. I think Jake Elliott's still clutch. I really do. I think he's struggling right now with the simple stuff, the point afters. I think he's still clutch. Great question here from SMD. SMD Eagle says, Zander, how does our defense substitute? How much will their no huddle affect us? Well, SMD, here's the good thing about this. A couple of the other players on the defensive line, like the Mora Jomos, the Milton Williams, even the edge rushers who they've been honestly consistently on the field. That's a factor with them, the substituting. I agree. But the one good thing is we have Jalen Carter, who's our most important defensive player, next to probably Zach Bowen. He doesn't come off the field. You listen to a defensive coordinators talk about it. I forget who it was that said this. Oh, no, it wasn't a defensive coordinator. It was John Keim, who's an ESPN reporter for the Commanders. And he said the hardest part about Jalen Carter is he doesn't come off the field. You don't get a break from him. So the substitutions are going to be interesting with how they play it with some of the other guys. Thomas Booker, right? Good one, Big C. Some of those other guys. But Jalen Carter, man, every snap. He played all but 2 snaps last game. So I don't think people understand how valuable that is. Like, Jalen Carter is approaching rarefied air really quickly. Brian Harding. Oh, Leon, what's up, man? Yo, Z, I meant the national media, not you. I just watched Get Up and all these talk shows killing us. They're not. I don't know. I don't know. Look, people look at the Eagles roster and they look at the receivers and they look at the offensive line and they look at the running back and they look at everything and they say, this team should be dominating. This team should be a top passing offense, a top run, everything. And we're not. We're clunky. We're a little bit clunky. We don't win pretty. And people don't like it. SMD, I hope I answered your question. I answered the best I could. Wild Bear says, hey, Z, do you think Washington defense is a threat for us? They've honestly been on fire. I wouldn't say a threat. But, people don't like to talk about Frankie Louvu. That's a game-changing type of player. He's hard to deal with, Frankie Louvu. He'll knock someone out of the game, and will be unapologetic about it. So, physical player, Bobby Wagner, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Dante Fowler, like they're playing well. Even Mike Samerstill, their rookie defensive back, playing really good. Marshawn Lattimore had his best game as a Commander last week versus Detroit. All over Amon-Ra St. Brown. So, you're right. The defense is playing well. People were talking about Jonathan Allen, and I don't think they had Jonathan Allen in the first game. But he's got 8 pressures in 2 playoff games. So he's playing really good in the interior, and that's where you wonder if the loss of Cam Jurgens, if he can't play, could be a big one. Could be a big one there. Coloco, what's up, brother? Appreciate you. No huddles are great until you can't sustain drives. Then you put your own defense on its heels, getting 3 and outs. It's a good way to go to get your defense tired, and it won't help playing against this running out. Coloco, I think that's exactly why you don't see it more with this team. Very well said by you. Good job, brother. Great comment there. We got our one of our resident Commander fans in here. What's up, Brian? Good to see you, man. We're about to beat your ass on Sunday. Washington wins on a doink 43-yarder at 2 seconds left. Oof. I got the same thing for the Eagles, so we'll see how it happens. I don't have a doink, though. I don't have a doink. Well, Jason, then. All right, Jason, answer this. Jason Martinez says this game comes down to QB play. All right, Jason, then who wins? If it comes down to quarterback play, then who wins? You better hope it doesn't come down to quarterback play. It's going to be a factor, as it is in every game. If it comes down to quarterback play, who wins? Everybody, who wins? All right, Jason, you got Eagles. I like it. Yeah, I'm more with exciting whites, whereas the birds lose. It's not a knock on Jalen. We're not asking Jalen to be the same quarterback that Jaden Daniels is. William Kelly says, Z, how confident are you really? I'm confident, but William, I'm a different type of fan. I'm not going to sit here and be in la-la land and come, oh, we're in the NFC title game. Yes, the world is amazing. Like, I don't do that. That's not how I view sports. That's not how I view sports. It's never how I viewed sports. I feel good. We got a game to win. I feel pretty confident. We're 16-3. What's there to not be confident about? We got a good team on the other side of the ball. We got a good quarterback on the other side of the ball. Handle your business, and we should win the game. Don't handle your business, and we might not win the game. That's what it comes down to. M. Ray says, Hurts has proven the naysayers wrong all year. He really hasn't, M. Reyes. He really hasn't. Because the naysayers don't say he doesn't win. The naysayers say he's not a good thrower. He can't throw the ball well. And he hasn't answered that. So I don't really know what you're saying. He hasn't really proven anybody wrong. I mean, I think he makes people have to eat their words a little bit when he continues to win. But Emery says, what's real is Hurts is undefeated since the bye and all full starts. Yeah, it's a team game, though. It's a team game. But he is. There's no doubt, Emery. That's the truth. That is the truth. MJ checks in. I'm looking for the Eagles to Big Brother Washington in their first taste of winning and must have forgot. I agree. That would be the ideal scenario. Christopher says, your opinion is stupid. Fix that. Okay, then go fix where you're watching. Maybe you're not talking to me. I'm not sure. Oh, you're talking to Crowley. I see it. Crowley, I love when you fight with people in the chat. Crowley's got good takes. Crowley's one of our got good takes on football. Now this I agree with Curtis. Curtis says, Zander, the only thing Hurts proves wrong is that you have to have an elite quarterback to win. I agree. He's clearly proven that you don't need elite quarterback play. But the other part about that, Curtis, is how many other teams in the league have a GM that's operating like Howie right now? Like even people love to talk about, and I give him a lot of credit. The guy in Kansas City done a great job. The guy in Detroit done a great job. No doubt about it. But come on, man, those rosters aren't as good as ours. Detroit's probably comparable. Howie deserves credit, man. Andrew says, Z, be quick to clap back. You got to keep people on their toes, man. If folks don't respect you, then they just continue to shit on you. And I'm not going to go for that. All right, let's do this giveaway. I'm going to do a giveaway of JAKIB merch, all right? I'm going to do a sweatshirt today. All right, so you can pick any sweatshirt on the website. All right, so let me pull the member link. We didn't get any new member. Oh, we got Gary A, who became a member. Thanks, Gary A. We didn't do too hot on Super Chat. So that's all right, though. I appreciate everybody checking in, showing the love today. Appreciate all you guys. How many likes did we get to? 235. Come on. I wanted to see way more than that. We had like 750 watching most of the show. And we had like 1,500 people with all of our Twitters and stuff. So a lot of people watching today, man, on Football Friday. Love it. All right, here we go. All right, let me pull the list. Give me a second here. Give me a second. Macalia says, you don't need an elite QB. Brad Johnson, one of all. Yep. You know, one thing I'll say, though, that people should be ready for, all right? And I agree. Look, we're all Eagles fans. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, all right? I like Jalen Hurts. I'm not a Jalen Hurts fan, all right? I don't buy Jalen Hurts merch like M. Reyes does. I like the Eagles. I want the Eagles to win. The quarterback is a separate conversation, okay? Guy like this, Jalen Hurts burner, a bunch of wannabe Sills. No, I'm not a wannabe anything. I'm very comfortable in my skin with who I am and who I'm becoming. Jalen Hurts is burner. You should be able to say this. We're gonna win. If we win the Super Bowl, amazing. It's gonna be immortalize this team, immortalize everything. Obviously, that's what we're all going for. It'll be our second Super Bowl in franchise history. Unbelievable. In hindsight, people will look back at this team and they will not talk about Jalen Hurts. They will not talk about Jalen Hurts. I think we could all agree to that this season, the story of this season will not be Jalen Hurts. That's not a knock on Jalen Hurts. He's not the story. He's not the main guy. He's not who it is. This season's about Saquon Barkley. This season's about your number one overall defense and Vic Fangio becoming a legend in this city. That's what the story right now. Who is the legend from the 2017 Super Bowl? Nick Foles. Maybe Alshon Jeffrey, big Super Bowl touchdown. Maybe Corey Clement, Zach Ertz. The story of that season, Wentz is in that season. What he did, his MVP, you should be able to separate the. Again, I don't have a problem with it. I'd rather have the Super Bowl than not have the Super Bowl, obviously. I can put my pride aside and be perfectly okay. But be prepared for other teams' fan bases to talk about him like a Brad Johnson or a Trent Dilfer. That's what's going to happen. I mean, that is 100% what will happen. You might not like that now, but I'm telling you now, that's what the hindsight will be. That's what people will talk about this Super Bowl, 10 years from now. And I'm good with that. I don't care. It doesn't bother me, but it seems to bother some other people. It doesn't bother me at all. I could care less. Just keep winning at this point. But yeah, Jalen Hurts is not like this insane elite quarterback that's leading you to multiple Super Bowls. That's just not what our team is right now. All right, here we go. I got the names. 370 members. Gary A has been added today. Thank you, Gary A, for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Schmidt Digler checks in. I wouldn't be very surprised if the Eagles don't make a change at quarterback this offseason. I know it sounds nuts, but I feel like this team has a window now. Schmidt, I don't see it, man. Schmidt, I don't see that at all. JAKIB hoodie giveaway. All right, here we go. You can pick any hoodie from the website. Wow, Raiders just hired Pete Carroll? Wow, I did not expect Pete Carroll to come back to coach. Wow, that's interesting. That is really interesting. I kind of like that for them. Now, they don't have a quarterback, so they're in la-la land, but Pete Carroll reached an agreement on a 3-year deal with a 4th-year team option. Another legendary vet coach returned. Yo, Daz, I'm not even kidding you. I'm not going to make the comment like some people, I'll revoke my fandom. I'll be so pissed, bro. Daz, I'll be so pissed. I'll be so pissed. Don't tell me that crap. Draft Jalen Milroe. Nobody fucking should draft that guy in the first 3 rounds. He's terrible. He's literally terrible. He's terrible. We've never had an era of Alabama football since pre-Nick Saban. He's brutal. He's brutal. Literally not good. Very athletic, though. Very athletic. Not good, though. All right, here we go. I got my list of winners or of names who are members. All right, I'd like to get a new winner today, hopefully. All right, so we'll try and do this, and then you guys can pick any sweatshirt from the website. We've had a bunch of JAKIB merch winners. This is something we've added because I've been out of jerseys. Tony won JAKIB merch. That shipped out, Tony. You should be getting that soon. Akbar won JAKIB merch. That shipped out. Should be getting that soon. Mac Main won JAKIB merch. And then yesterday, Dakota won JAKIB merch, right? Damn, I forgot to write Dakota down. Dakota Warren. Yeah. I ordered yours last night, though, Dakota, because I screenshotted what you wanted. All right. So we have had a bunch of JAKIB merch winners, which is pretty cool. Niall, I will make sure your name is in there. Even though I checked for you yesterday, I'll check for you again. I know you guys like to double check. Niall, there you are. Wilfredo gifts a membership. Here we go with the gifted. Thanks, Wilfredo. Damn, my damn head is throbbing. Here we go. Who got the gifted? Anil Gaskini? What the? All right. I've never seen that guy in the chat. Here we go, though. Wilfredo, thanks for the support, brother. Anil. All right. There we go. There's our new name. Dirty D says, I need some new merch. Everybody needs new merch. Merch goes a long way. Well, this I certainly agree with. Buddy says, why are you so obsessed with Hurts? I talk football for like 5 hours a day, dude. Hurts is going to be a topic of conversation. He's a decent all-pro quarterback. If he has a great Super Bowl performance again and wins Super Bowl MVP, he'll forever be a Philly legend. That's a big if, but no doubt. He will be a legend if he wins a Super Bowl with a Super Bowl MVP. But I don't think he's going to win the Super Bowl MVP, buddy. Don't you think Saquon Barkley's going to win it? I think Saquon Barkley's going to win it this year. All right, here we go. Any other members I missed? No. All right, here we go. Confirm. 3 shuffles. All right. 2, 3. Come on. Oh, no. Let me wait. Let me add the next guy. Wilfredo gifted another one. Curtis. All right, I'm happy with this. Curtis has been in the chat today. Curtis, you got a chance now. Devin Parker, it's JAKIBsports.com, brother. All right, here we go. We got delayed. Curtis has been added. Come on, man. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. 3 shuffles. Here we go. Here we go. All right, winner gets a sweatshirt. Winner gets a sweatshirt. 3, 2, 1. Keith. I love Keith. Keith, are you here? I hope Keith's here. Keith's great. He messaged me on Twitter all the time. Keith. Come on, Keith. Damn, is Keith in here? Is Keith in here? No? Damn, I love Keith. He's there? Is he here? Let me look for him. No, that's not you, mother effer. That ain't Keith. Yo, Keith, you thought you could fool me with being the wrong Keith? You can't fool me, Keith. It's not Keith Johnson. No, this is Keith. Keith, I got him on Twitter. Where is this dude? I know I got him on Twitter. He messages me all the time. Keith Johnson tried to pull a fast one on me. He did. Not happening. You're not getting me on that. Get him out of here. All right, here we go. New winner. Sorry, Keith. Love you, man. I'll get you next time. All right. I'll get you next time. Keith, I'm sorry, brother. 30D. Relax, dude. Man, some of y'all really get your panties in a bunch. Some of y'all really get your panties in a bunch. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. 3 shuffles. Timu Keith. Come on. No, Keith's not a Timu Keith. Come on. New winner. 3, 2, 1. Edgar. There's no way. All cards. Wait, did you just become a member? Did you get your merch, all cards? I sent that thing last week. All right, you just re-upped. Nah, all cards might be in here. All cards. Did you get your merch, by the way? I sent you your Saquon shirt and stuff. All right, you got it. Awesome. I was all cards. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I missed you, man. It took me an extra 3 days to ship that, which was my mistake. So I'm happy you got it. Appreciate your support, man. Thanks for becoming a member. I'll make sure you're added in here again. Let me add you up. All cards. Thanks for becoming a member. Edgar's out. There's no way Edgar's in here. Wait, is Edgar in here? Awesome. All cards says, my daughter loves the beanie. I love that. I love when, people get something they can give to their kids. Great stuff, all cards. Thanks for your support, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Here we go. Confirmed. 3 shuffles. All cards has been added. Curtis was added and Anil. Both of those were gifted members. All cards was not a gifted member. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. 3 shuffles. Start. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rob Williams. Robin Williams? Rob? Fuck is Rob Williams? We must still have some gifteds holding on. Rob, are you here? Rob, are you here? Yeah, Dirty Air. He passed. Robin Williams is not with us anymore. I'm going to be... he died before he could cancel his sub. Come on, man. This is a member. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be choking on a member like that. Woo! All right, Bobby. Is Rob Williams in the chat? Just quit joking about Robin Williams. Just tell me if Rob Williams is in here. Big Z's got a headache. He's not in a good mood. All right. Seth, what's up, Seth? Appreciate you, brother. Seth says the only guy we got to worry about this game is Jake the Miss Elliott. Not worried about Jalen at all. Also, thanks for the giveaways, Big Z. Gotcha, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm not as worried about Jake Elliott as you. In fact, I'm a little bit more worried about the quarterback than you are, too. You said you're not worried about Jalen at all. I'm not worried about him, but you lose, in knee, that's a bad, if he's lost his knee, not good. Not good if he can't run. I don't know why I have a headache. I just got one, and I hate headaches. I can go through anything. I can go through cold, sickness. I don't really get sick ever. Nothing, none of that stuff fazes me. The only thing I've always hated my entire life is a headache. Fucking hate headaches, man. All right, here we go. Come on, let's get a winner. We need a winner on a football Friday before the NFC title game. Confirm. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. 3 shuffles. Start. He's right by San Diego, Philly Don. 3, 2, 1. Boda. My guy, Boda. I love Boda. Me and Boda have an unwritten rule that Boda will comment on any video randomly and just say, "Hi, Zander." And I say, "Hi, Boda." Where's Boda at? You guys don't know Boda? Come on, you know Boda. Boda Satra. Boda ass ain't here. He ain't here. Look, you guys are ruthless, man. I love it, though. Boda sleep. Crowley, you know Boda, though, right? Hurts his burners holding on to that gifted membership for dear life. Jalen Hurts his burners holding on to that gifted like he's for dear life. Get him out of here. I want a shirt with that on it. I want a shirt with "Get him out of here" on it. Get him out of here. Gifted, refund me my money. Hey, if you paid, that's cool. All right, here we go. Start. Boat is done too. Look at this motherfucker. Stop playing with me, Zander, you clown. I wasn't gifted shit. That's my kind of comment right there. You see, when someone claps at you in life, you fucking clap back. Good shit, Jalen Hurts' his burner. If you're not gifted, then I respect that. I respect that. But yo, dude, fuck you. I'm just kidding. I love you. All right, here we go. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. There's Boda again. Slaggers in here. Dez, Mad Dio. Come on. 3 shuffles. Bleed Green. Brian Garner. Brett. Who else we got? Rasheed Mixon. Dirty Air. Start. Yeah, don't be a bitch. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Danny D. Oh, come on. I'm not saying that name anymore. Danny, are you here? Danny, are you here? I knew that was coming. Danny Diddy. No, Burner doesn't email me. It's not Burner. Burner wasn't the guy who was emailing me. It was Philly D. Philly D. I must have gotten 32 emails from him in like a day. Where is this Danny dude? Not Danny Mertz. Look at Daz. Daz and Flex. These are like my 2 sons fighting. I hate it. I hate it. Zander, can Flex get a little chicken shirt? Yo, Flex, you're not taking that. I know you're not taking that. I know you ain't taking that shit, Flex. All right, Danny's done. See you, Danny. Start. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. 3 shuffles. Yes, Curtis, it is. Is the giveaway making the headache worse? Yeah, I might have to pull out the green Kango. I need a winner. 4, 3, 2, 1. Sean Mims. And we're close to Big Z picking somebody. Oh, man. You guys are funny as shit in the chat, man. The funny comments are helping the headache. These picks are biased. Yes, they are. Why would they not be biased? This is not a meritocracy. This is not a republic in here. This is a dictatorship. You understand? This is JAKIB Sports is a dictatorship, and I am the dictator. And if you don't like that, you're going to have to get the fuck out of here, as Flex would say. Sean Mims, are you here? Later, helping. See you, brother. Kim Jong Zander. I love it. Zander Obama. Nah, don't come on. Don't call me that. Don't call me that. Come on. Don't call me that. Send that shit to Steamboat. Let's go. All right, Sean Mims is done. Adolf Zittler. That's hilarious. Here we go. The Eagles Republic of Jacob. That's great. I knew this would get some good comments. Osama bin Zander. I don't like that one. I don't like that one. Vladimir Krause. All right, y'all are done. I'm done reading those. Here we go. What'd Dakota say? Adolf Zittler's hilarious. All right, here we go. Confirm. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. There's Burner. 3 shuffles. Come on. Elon Musk. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Howard. Howard's been here every day for every giveaway. He must be here. Howard, are you out there? Not you, Brandon Howard, unfortunately. Is he here? I feel like Howard's here. He's always here. I think he upgraded to a legend member actually yesterday. Oh, wait. Oh, my God. I completely forgot. I have a legend giveaway today. I completely forgot about my legend giveaway. See, the headache's fucking with my head. Is Howard here, though? Let me get this giveaway done first. New border czar, Zander Krause. Oh, I'd be going on. They wouldn't like that. And they wouldn't like that. Yo, Caesar, did you ever email me? I never got it. Catherine, you're right. I thought Howard would be here. Is Howard not here? Let me go green Kango. Is Howard not here? Has anybody seen Howard? See, I think Crawley's. Yes, there he is. I knew he'd be here. Howard, you get to pick a sweatshirt, my brother. All right, I got a legend giveaway. Completely forgot about my legend giveaway. All right, Howard, let's do this, man. Where can I contact you? You can contact me, whatever sweatshirt you want from the site, or we can do it right here on the air. I'll pull up the merch site. He's here. I got you, Howard. I think Howard might be behind a couple seconds. That's what I think is happening. Schmidt Digler. Upgraded to a legend. Schmidt, thank you, brother. All right, who else is upgrading to a legend? We're giving away the Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean. Black and Kelly Green. The Black and Kelly Green Cooper DeJean is a legend member giveaway. Howard, figure out how to email me or DM me or whatever you want to do. I answer everybody's emails and DMs, and I get a lot of them, and I love hearing from you guys. Howard, I just put my email in. Sue, I don't know yet. All right. I don't know yet. I don't know yet, Sue. I'm hoping. Congrats to Howard Nolte on the win. All right. I'm getting delusional up here. That's what's happening. Oh, link the membership. All right, let me do that. I mean, you would think one of my wrenches would do it for me. Fuckers. No, I'm just kidding. I got you. There's going to be once I get out of the off season, now that I'm more ingrained with the chat than I've ever been before. You know, when I first took over, I just started tossing wrenches. I didn't know what they did. All I know is we had a bunch of people who wanted the wrench. All right. So I just started tossing wrenches out. There's going to be a little bit of an overhauling of the wrenches. All right. So if you got a wrench, I don't know how long you're going to have one. I'll leave that up in the air. Yeah, Izzy B says she wants her. Izzy B, you want a lot of things in this chat. All right. You want a lot of things. Z's coming for you. Yeah. Wrench me up. All right. There's the membership link. Macalia, I love my segment with Sills. That's easily my favorite piece of content every day. Is going on with Cilio. I love doing that. Howard, I got your DM. All right, sorry, just dealing with some business on the air. Howard, congrats. Congrats, Howard. Denny Mert says, yo, Zander, any plans in the future to have a tailgate booth at home games? That'd be sick. That'd be sick. Haven't thought about that, but I can maybe make something happen. All right, is anybody upgrading to a legend? If not, I'll pull the winner. I don't care. I'll do a winner now. Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean, Black and Kelly. I'm not taking it out of the bag. All right. Black and Kelly. I'm trying to get more of these, but they're hard to get. All right. I only got one more. Bob, I know you wanted one. I was trying to get you one. Pull it, Zander, Bob's saying. All right, here we go. No limit. What up, dude? Appreciate you. All right, here we go. I got to get wait, 1 second. All right, let me also tell you guys something. If you're a legend member, okay, you guys, I am going to be doing a lot more for legends in the off season. Now too, but it's harder now because I'm so damn bogged down with work. All right, I'm just busy. So I'm working in the business, not as much on the business. All right. When I get to the off season, I'll be able to work on the business again. All right. And do some more of that. For my legend members, I don't think you understand how far your support is going to help us, okay? To help the business grow, to help keep our shows on the air, to help pay Cilio and John the big bucks, all right? The big bucks that they make. If you're a legend member, I love you all. Terry Hayes, one of our first legends, all right? Bob Brown, legend member. Brandon Howard, legend. Brian Fleming, legend. Who else? All right. Derek Elmore, who won. He won. So we did our legend giveaway the other day, and he won this. I didn't ship it out yet, Derek, because I didn't hear from you till yesterday. Chris, thank you, man. Jason A-Team, I think you were the first. I think you were the first, A-Team. I think you were first, and Terry Hayes was second. I think you were first A-team and Terry Hayes was second. All right. So big thanks to you guys. Big thanks to you guys. Derek Elmore won that jersey. All right. So I'm going to get that out to him probably today. I'll ship it. All right. Also, there's one thing I have to say, okay, because I had somebody yesterday who was like, oh, when am I going to get my jersey? If you want a jersey, okay, and you requested a different size, that's fine. You must understand that requesting a different size comes with a delay, all right? It comes with a delay, okay? If you want to take the jersey that you won, it would be sent out in a day or two. Suplex City, he won the jersey he won. It was the right size. I shipped it out. He probably already got it, okay? Or he's getting it soon. If you requested a different size, you got to be more patient. Or don't request a different size. Just take what you want, okay? I'm quite frankly, I'm tired of dealing with those comments. Here we go. All right, we got 37 legends. 37. Jason A-Team, correct. You and Terry Hayes were the first two legends. 3 months of legend membership. That is awesome. Thank you so much for that. Look at Keith Johnson. Yeah, Devin, I appreciate you being patient. I haven't gotten you the 2X yet. All right. I haven't gotten you it. All right, here we go. I got to, well, the legends is a little harder because I got to fill it out. All right. And I wrote down all the legends, but then they keep changing. You know, people come in, them out, they cancel, they re-up, blah, 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 all sorts of shit. All right. Jason A-Team, 1. Terry Hayes, 2. Here we go. All right. The prize here, if you haven't upgraded yet or you want to upgrade, is the Cooper DeJean black and Kelly green jersey. All right. It's an XL. Okay. Here we go. Wait, did I share that? Yes, I did. All right. Jason A-Team, 1. Terry Hayes, 2. Ryan Fleming, 3. Mad Dio, 4. Jay Ronimu, 5. If you've already won a jersey on the Legend giveaway, I'm going to give you something, but I'm picking a new winner for the jersey. All right. I don't want to repeat jersey winner of the Legends. The goal is to take care of every Legend member. All right. So if your name gets pulled for a second time today, maybe I'll order you some JAKIB merch. All right. But the goal is to get every Legend to win. Bob Brown, next. Dirty Date. Derek Elmore, who won the Kelly Green or the black and Kelly Green Saquon jersey. Philly Don is a legend. Thank you, Philly Don. I didn't realize you were a legend. CZ. Actually, no, I knew that, Philly Don. I remember that. Brandon Howard. Thank you, Brandon Howard. Appreciate all you guys. John Glisson. Big C. Dirty Air. CT. Philly fan. Look at this, man. The Legends are crushing it. Thank you, guys. Vulnerable Vitality. Tyler Braswell. If you're still in the chat and you're not a Legend member, I can be bought to give away some more JAKIB merch, if that's something you would want. Crowley X26. Thank you, Crowley. Josh B. Thank you, Josh. Chris AM. Thank you, Chris. Caesar Campos. Thank you, Caesar. William Stark. Thank you, William. Who else? SB Ricky. Thank you, SB Ricky. Chip Snyder. Thank you, Chip. I appreciate you, sir. 83 Rainy Boy. Thank you, Rainy Boy. TK Washington. 92. Remember, you don't have to be present to win this, all right? If you're a Legend, you're going to get the win. All right. Clary Voy. Chris Albright, thank you. TK, thank you. Clary Void, thank you. Billy, Birds, and Beers. Like that name. Marcus Padilla. Shit. Appreciate you, Marcus. Kenny Sprague, thank you, Kenny. Howard Nolte. Howard, our last winner, is a legend member. Howard, thank you, sir. Thank you, Howard, for winning the job. You got the JAKIB merch today. Chad, my guy Chad, my Colorado brother. Chad Whitaker. He's out in Steamboat Springs. Mad Bird, thanks for being a legend, brother. Jay Parker. Jay Parker, thank you, man. Macalea, 86, thank you, brother. And Schmidt Digler, my favorite name on JAKIB, is a legend. That's my guy. Appreciate you, Schmidt. All right, that's everybody. Did anybody else upgrade that I missed? Seth, did you upgrade that I missed that? Can someone tell me if Seth upgraded to legend? Okay, he did. Thank you, Seth. Sorry, I didn't see it. I was typing all the names. Thank you, Seth Shifley. All right, boom. Can I put the link again? I sure can. Okay, I didn't see the upgrade. I got him now, though, right? Seth was the upgrade. All right, anybody else? I'll get him. I will get him. I added Seth. Seth's on there. See him? All right, we got 38 legends right now. Can we get the 40? 2 more? Anybody upgrading, let me know in the chat. I'll wait for you. Android King, yeah. Everybody else. All right, let me go to legends only, or not legends, members only mode. Got a lot of grays in here that are polluting the chat. Sorry, grays. Man, I hope we have a Cilio show today. I hope we have a Cilio show. I love Cilio show. Such a good sports show. All right. Matt says he's upgrading. I'll wait for you. All right, here we go. I'm going to wait for Matt. I'll wait for a few more if anybody wants to upgrade, and then we're doing the giveaway. Cooper DeJean. The Cooper DeJean black and Kelly green. All right, this is a very nice jersey. I got rid of the grays, I think. I did, right? Yeah, I did. I'm damn nauseous right now. Bob, I don't know, man. Looks like an uphill battle. I've been working on it. Matt, I really don't know. I don't know because it seems like iPhone makes it hard, impossible to do it. I don't know why iPhone does that. It's just fucking stupid. Oh, Devin Parker, you placed a merch order. Hell yeah, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, Devin. Did David Esch just upgrade? Let me go back to where I can see if people upgraded. All right, David Esch. Here we go. We're 1 away. 39. Will we get to 40? Will Matt NG make it 40? Will we get one more? If not, I will pull at 39. Yeah, John, it's a pain in the ass that the iPhone doesn't let you upgrade. It's really annoying. Bob's like, yo, asshole, my chances are going down. Redemption says, you think Cam's playing? Checking in from X. What's up, man? Appreciate you watching from over on X. I feel like he's going to play redemption, but the back concerns me because it's a back. Like backs always are weird, no? You know what I mean? Like people can get up off the couch and tweak a back, a nerve, a disc, anything. So that makes me kind of concerned about it. I'm not going to lie to you. And then the fact that they brought in a 32-year-old backup center. Howard says, I tried to upgrade on my phone. There's no upgrade button showing. How to do it on my laptop. Yeah, that seems to be the MO. I don't know. All right, I was going to wait. Should I not wait? Illuminati, it's a new member. Is it a legend? Nope, not a legend. Illuminati, thanks for becoming a member. I appreciate it. There we go. Matt NG upgraded. There he is. All right, we got 40. We got 40. Holy shit, man. That is sick. 40 of you guys. That is so cool. I love you guys. All right. Is anybody else trying? I'll give you another minute or two. Illuminati, thank you, man. He says, I finally became a member. I've been here since day one. Illuminati, thank you, brother. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate your support. Appreciate you becoming a member, man. I appreciate that. Brandon, I'm with you. 40 legends. I'm thinking Super Bowl on the horizon. And not only that, I'm thinking we win. I really do feel like the Eagles have a damn good chance to win the Super Bowl. You know, we talk about a lot of stuff. Obviously, you talk about Jaden. You talk about some of the complexities of the team, some of the stuff they're not doing well, or some of the deficiencies that you see. But in all seriousness, I don't think we've seen a team. I really feel like this team can win it all. I think they're going to win it all. All right, let's go. Schmidt-Digler is losing his patience. Schmidt-Digler is losing his patience. There was another dude who said he was trying. I don't know if he's still trying. Pull that winner. Redemption says, with Cam and Goddard iffy, you're not worried one bit. Redemption, I'm not. Worried's not the right word. I mean, I think that they have a good team. I think that they have a great quarterback. I don't like the word worry. I'm not worried about anything. I want the team to win. It doesn't affect my life. If they lose, it doesn't pay my bills. It doesn't accomplish the things I have to accomplish in life. I don't view football in that sense. I don't worry or get scared of anything. I don't view it like that. I think we got a good test. I think they have a good quarterback. I think they're a damn good football team, or at least playing like one right now. Worried? No, not worried. What do I got to worry about? I got to worry about the wrath of the chat. That's what I got to worry about if we lose. The wrath of the chat. All right, I'm pulling the winner. Here we go. No, this is not a hoodie. This is the Cooper DeJean Legend. Here we go. Here we go. One shuffle. Two shuffles. Three shuffles. You do not have to be present, but no repeat legend winners. All right? But if you win and you're a repeat, I'll give you some options. All right? I got some ideas. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. TK Washington. My God, TK Washington, who is a frequent watcher. I know you can't always watch live, but I think you're in here right now. I think you're in here right now, TK. Where are you at, TK? It doesn't matter if he's not here. He's the winner anyway. You don't have to be present to win. Where is he at? Congrats to TK. Let's go. There he is. Let's go, TK. Let's go, brother. Congrats on the win. Yeah, TK, quick question for you. What size jersey are you? Oh, that's a good challenge. That's a great challenge. We need LIX legends by the kickoff of Super Bowl. So that'd be what, 19 more? Did TK give me a size yet too, by the way? Extra medium. What the hell does that mean? I'm waiting to see what TK says. Brandon, I'm thinking about it, but it'd have to be merch or it'd have to be JAKIB merch, Brandon. Really a large, but I can do an XL. All right, I have an XL. TK, would you like me to inquire? Would you like me to inquire, or do you want to just settle for the XL? Up to you entirely. It's up to you entirely. If you want me to inquire, I'm supposed to see the guy either today or tomorrow. He keeps pushing me back, and I'm very busy. He's only there till 3:00, so it's a nightmare. But that's why Saturdays is mostly when I go. If you want the XL, I'll send it out. I'll send it out today or tomorrow. If you want me to try and get you it in a large, I can try that. Schmidt says just rock the XL. XL fits great under with a hoodie. Okay, cool. I'll send you out the XL, all right, brother? Yo, TK, how can I contact you, man? You want to email me? Do I have you on X or anything? Do I have you on X? Nah, Devin, he's an old head. He's an old head. Tony is his name. He's an old head, Devin. He's like, bro, I got till 3:00 every day. You wanna do business? You gotta get to me before 3. After 3, I turn my phone off and don't talk to people. He's one of those grouchy old motherfuckers that's retired and don't got time for nobody. I'm telling you, man, this dude's hilarious. He's hilarious. He's great though. I just want to know how I can, once I see how to contact TK. Yeah, he's watching MacGyver by 4 and asleep by. You know, Brian, you want to know something hilarious? The last time I went over there to see him. See you, Schmidt. See you, Schmidt. Appreciate it, brother. The last time I went over there, Brian, is so funny. I'm looking around for him. I'm like, where the fuck is Tony? I can't find him. I'm like knocking on the doors. I'm like running. I'm walking around. I'm looking for him. He walks out. He's like, what do you want? I'm watching a movie. So that's literally exactly what you said. He's laying on the couch like this with his feet kicked up. It's like, I'm watching a movie. What do you need? I'm like, come on, Tony, get your ass out of here. You got money to make. Hilarious. That's what old heads do. All right, just let me know when you see TK's comments. I'm trying to figure out how to get him to get in contact with him. He might be working or something. I understand people can't just comment all day. No, he wasn't. It was some mobster movie. Not like a classic mobster movie, though. It was some random. He was pissed. TK was here. He might be going. I'll catch up with him if I can't get him now. TK, if you're listening, email me at Zander@JAKIBmedia.com or called that too. He's in the mafia. What, anybody named Tony's in the mafia now? Tyler, the feds, we're not doing anything wrong, bro. Fucking Tony's chilling up watching movies. He's not doing nothing wrong, I promise. Yeah, Tony, come on. Tell these people that not all Tonys are corrupt. What is this? What is that dumb shit? Illuminati, what's up, man? Zander, what concerns you the most on Sunday? For me, the only thing I'm worried about is the Eagles taking the Commanders too lightly and not having a sense of urgency. No, I don't think so, man. Illuminati, I think this team's going to be ready. I think the team is going to be ready. I think my biggest concern, if you're asking me, would be Jalen Hurts' knee, number one. And number two would be just what Jaden Daniels can do. You know, what he's shown he's capable of doing. Obviously playing with house money right now. You know, they feel like they can beat anybody. They're a confident football team. Dan Quinn's rallied that team really well. Done a really good job as their coach. So, yeah, Abe, I didn't really get it. Like, why he kept calling him a back. I'm like, why are you calling him a back? I don't understand that. I don't get that. All right, I don't see TK anymore, so I don't know where he went, but he's the winner today. All right, here we go. Dakota Warren, I got him yesterday. It was Jacob Murch and Howard Nolte. I'm going to work on him today. Howard Nolte won the Jacob Murch. All right. All right, cool. No word yet on Big Stills. You know, let me shoot him a text right now. Check in, man. Hey, brother, how you doing? Oh, TK, I see your DM. All right, so I'm in touch. Oh, Chip, that completely went over my head. My dumbass. My dumbass. Chip. He called him a back because of what his DC said. Duh. I got you, TK. I see your DM. I see your DM. Thank you, TK. I don't know why your email or why it's not coming through here. But I appreciate your support, man. Wow, now that I realize what Nolan Smith was doing, that's petty as hell. That's hilarious. I can't believe my dumbass didn't pick up on that. All right, so here's the update from Cilio for everybody looking for it. Cilio just texted me back. I'll keep you updated. We just got a text that they're checking the power lines to see if it's safe. I'll keep you updated. So it looks like I like it. I like Nolan Smith saying that. So hopefully we get Sills back up. He's got 2.5 hours to get that power on. You would think they would get it, but it's California. Nothing's out of the equation. All right. All right, here we go. That's going to do it for the show today. I know you guys wanted another legend giveaway, but yo, Brent, I got to go, man. My head is fucking throbbing. I need to go get a drink of water. Bro. My head's on fire. Damn headache, man. Killing me. But I'll do something. Brandon, I already told you. I'm going to take I have a lot of things to do for the Legends, all right? So I'm going to take great care of the Legends. I'm I'm going to take great care of the legends coming up here in the next couple of weeks and months. All right. All right. I appreciate everybody. That's going to do it for the show today. Appreciate you all being here. Hit that like button, everybody. We appreciate you. Like I always say, and I mean it, obviously. You guys are the best, man. That's one of the great honors is talking to you guys all the time. So thank you so much. See you next time, everybody.
You've been listening to Birds 365, the destination for the passionate Eagles football fan who bleeds green. If it's Eagles football, we're talking about it. Debate inside the locker room and guests that are some of the greatest football minds from around the region. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had a blast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on social media at JAKIB Sports. See you next time on Birds 365.